the dispatch headline that I really cared about was when they said, "I regret cutting the sex scenes," and I'm like,
Yeah,
there could have been sex scenes. I regret you cutting those too. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? God damn it!
I'm saving dispatch for like my Christmas game. I always like to have a game to look forward to, and I haven't had anything spoiled or anything. I'm just really excited to play it, but I know that I want to play it for Game of the Year discussion, and so
we will talk. We will talk about it later in the episode briefly, spoiler free. But Jake, you've played it. You finished it.
Yeah.
Pop quiz, hotshot. Blonde blazer or Invisigal? Go. Don't think.
Blonde blazer.
Oh, 100%, man. That's it, man. When I saw the stats, I'm like, what? I'm in the minority? How is that possible?
Insane.
How is that possible?
Insane.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Anyway, you will figure this out for yourself.
I was going to say, I'll text you guys as soon as I find a blonde blazer or an Invisigirl.
Well, it's the opening cutscenes. You very quickly.
You're gonna immediately be like, oh, okay. You're gonna be like, these
enough.
Boys.
That's right.
Those darn FPS boys at it again.
Invisigal, the bad girl, blonde blazer, the kind of girl you take home to mama. That's the difference, right? Okay. Jake, like,
mama.
Listen. Oh man. All right. This is a video game podcast. Welcome everybody. It's Friends Per Second. This is episode 83.
Yeah.
We're coming in here hot off the heels of life. How you guys doing?
Smooth, Jake. Real smooth.
We were bitching for not bitching, but like just chatting for like an hour. So, you know.
I know Lucy's got the tea. She's holding a cup of tea.
Quite literally. The PS5 tea.
Got a cup of...
I've got the Warframe tea right here. So, Jake, come on. He's probably got a mummy.
Water.
Okay, right. Solid water. What is wrong with us? We're fucked. We're beyond saving. It's terrible. All our liquids are branded.
I realized yesterday that I was beyond saving because I had some chocolate at 8 p.m. and I did not get to sleep until 1 a.m. because I was wired off chocolate.
What? How does that work? Chocolate doesn't do that to people? Oh, sugar. Okay,
sugar.
Right. I guess I just have so much sugar in my diet; it just doesn't affect me.
Immune.
I just have my nightly Mars bar before bed and just fall straight to sleep. You know. So
yeah, but we've got whatever the FDA approves as sugar stuff over here. Like it was, my heart was racing.
Yeah, it's probably they got to figure out a way to make sugar from soybeans. they got so many of them laying around. They got to figure out something to do with them. Oh God, I shouldn't. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's get back on track, please.
Game
we were
Awards, specifically.
Game Awards, exactly. That's what we're hot off the heels of, Jake.
Yeah, we're hot off the heels of the nominees being announced. The live stream where Papa Jeff Keighley goes on and reads all the things. So there's a lot to kind of pick through here, but I think the big thing is, well, I mean, before we get to the Game of the Year thing, are there any upsets, some games that you guys think we're missing sorely?
You guys said about Arc Raiders not getting the audio.
Not a nom for no nomination for audio design.
I mean, I think it's hard because it's challenge. Like obviously there's the AI discussion, which is specific to the voice acting. Mm-hmm. And that's part of audio design in this context because it's not actually, it's people, but then they have applied a text-to-speech tool that allows them to, create new words or whatever else. It's dog shit, by the way. And I said the same thing about the finals, where I'm like, the voice stuff here, the announcers in the finals are terrible and they make the game slightly worse, right? Not a big deal. I don't want to throw it out of proportion, but it definitely makes it slightly worse. And it's the same here, but I'd actually argue it's worse because all of the cutscene dialogue, all the dialogue when you're chatting with the vendors and stuff sounds like if these are actually recorded lines, then it feels like these voice actors weren't given much direction because the delivery is so flat all the time. So maybe they are. And this is the thing, we don't even know. All I will say is that the voice acting in this game is not at all good. And the AI stuff, it's just unnecessary. It's an unnecessary blemish on this game. I don't think that's what would have cost them this nomination. That's a guess, obviously, because I don't know how everyone else voted. But I will say that not nominating this game in this category does feel like a massive oversight, because the audio in this game is the second best audio that I've experienced this year after Battlefield 6.
And that's saying a lot, because
that's saying a lot
for another game that's like very just like you're in a big field shooting guns to go toe to toe with that.
Yep.
Like the crack of a gun in Arc Raiders, the distant crack of a gun, the sound of the footsteps of someone coming up a building that you're currently camping out in, like all that hits, not to mention like the ambient noise, all that stuff.
For sure. I love this, the sound of like missile thuds hitting in the distance from those like big dudes that
the big walker guys.
And when they start firing missiles, you're like, oh shit, okay, you can really hear it. It's just fantastic. So yeah, that's definitely an upset. I think there was also Mario Kart's OST not getting nominated for soundtrack. Yep, that's a bummer.
Hum a song from the Mario Kart 8 soundtrack. The Mario Kart World Tour soundtrack.
What did you say, sorry?
Hum a song, because
I mean, like it's
drop of a hat can give you the Mario Kart 8 theme. Like I sing it most days. The Mario Kart World Tour soundtrack was just not.
Oh wow, okay. I'm interested in the comment section on this one. It has like 100+ tracks, and they've like their originals plus remasters of old tracks. It's just like the most expansive Nintendo collection of songs.
Maybe I'm just sad that the theme doesn't pop off as much. You know,
yeah, that
how much of that did you play versus this one though? Like how much time have you put into World?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, dude.
I'm playing. I think that's a lot of us. So yeah.
I'm kind of sad that Silent Hill didn't get a Game of the Year nod.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It did pick up.
Game of the Year, by the way, because not everyone would have known these nominations, so we'll just list them, the key ones. So Game of the Year is Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. Best Game Direction is a similar list, except Donkey Kong is not on that list.
Yoshi is in there, and Kingdom Come is not on there.
And Best Game Direction, a Split Fiction.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Art Direction. Sorry, two best friends play on Reddit.
What?
I'm looking at the text post, so it's gone.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Best Narrative is when Silent Hill F gets his first nomination. Other than that,
I think that's good.
Yeah,
I agree with that completely, totally. Yeah. Best Art Direction is Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Hades, and Silksong. Best Score is Silksong, Hades 2, Clair Obscur, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding. Forgive me for not saying the names of all the people, just going through the names of the games here. Best Performance, I will say the names, obviously. Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Erika Ishii, Jennifer English. 3 of those were for Clair Obscur. Erika Ishii was a Ghost of Yotei. Kunatsu Kato.
Can we stop at that one?
Yeah.
Because I really think that
I agree with you.
I don't like, as much as I love Expedition 33, I wish they didn't fill up all 3 slots. Also, Charlie Cox. You talked about this last episode, but like Charlie Cox did a good job.
Yes.
But comparatively, compared to Jennifer English, compared to Ben Starr,
Kirsty Ryder.
Yeah,
compared to Alex Jordan.
That's the other thing. He is a snub, and I know he's like a friend of the show, but I think that even if his performance, it worked for me, but like even if for some people the performance didn't quite emotionally land, I still think that his work on that game was like a feat in and of itself.
Technically,
like the amount of different voices, and I think that's so interesting, and I think that was worthy of being highlighted.
I also think Jane Perry, I said it at the time, but she has a monologue in Dead Take that was phenomenal.
I really wanted to play that. I got to get around to that before the end of the year.
4 hours.
Yeah, it's a quickie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a number of other categories as well. We sort of get to the more specific genre categories and mobile game, et cetera, et cetera. But so those are the sort of the big hitters. And I would say that overall, most of the games that we expected to get a look in, got a look in. I don't think there are any real surprises here. And there were a few omissions, like we just discussed, but not many. I said to a friend of mine, I think I was talking to my brother, and I'm like, I bet you we're about to see the biggest sweep in video games history with Clair Obscur. And that was before the nominations came out. And sure enough, it's got 12 nominations, making it the most nominated game in in Game Awards history. Question though is around it getting nominations for indie game. And some people are not happy about that. It's like Dave the Diver all over again, where everyone's like, oh, it's not an indie title, so it shouldn't, be nominated. And I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm sure we've discussed it in the past, but where are you at with it now? Have you got new thoughts on that? Like, should it be an indie game nod or not? What do you think?
Well, so that's the thing. So hang on, I'm going to thegameawards.com.
He defines it as something that's developed outside the traditional publishing model.
Yes.
Which it was.
Look, I mean,
that's the thing. So Ball Pit, published by Devolver, Clair Obscur by Kepler,
correct.
Blueprints, Raw Fury. What constitute? Are you saying that? Like, I don't know. Where does independent stop? Like, just because they're not owned by a giant conglomerate, or?
I totally agree. I think it's such a hard line, and it's very difficult. I mean, clearly Assassin's Creed is not an indie, and clearly, Hollow Knight is an indie, and then there's stuff in between that where it's like a real line ball call. I personally do think of this as an indie title. I understand the origins of this were two dudes who met at a studio and decided to set up their own unique thing. This game began before they had a publisher, and it existed for many years before they had a publisher. It was a truly independent project for many of its years before eventually it got Kepler, and then off it went. Right, so I don't look at this and think that this is not an indie title at all. Right, but I do understand how people say, well, it's got a publisher, so it can't be. I really. But then at the same time, then, Cyberpunk becomes an indie title.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's also the other, like, if you're like looking holistically at the entire ballot, like there is like, it's like, okay, Expedition 33 is getting all these accolades, and, it's also taking up a slot where a budding indie developer could have filled that slot. Where it's
I mean, absolutely. Right. So look, these things are always imprecise. I don't think you're ever going to be able to get to a really consistent ballot voting process, whatever, a categorization process that crosses all these things off, because we're talking about evaluating art, and we're also talking about evaluating the commercials behind that art, so it's always gonna happen that it's imperfect.
And you see crazy conversations out there, like you see people reacting saying like, oh, the Game Awards is rigged again because Arc Raiders isn't gonna win. And it's like,
who said that, Jake? Say it aloud.
You're
say it
playing
again.
Arc Raiders.
Say his name, Jake. Say his name.
A Twitch streamer named Shroud, and like that's
right.
a fine.
Is Shroud going off again?
I mean, I feel like it was just a bit, but when he said that, like,
that's the thing. I'm not familiar with him. I'm more blaming the outlets that all made headlines off of his comments, because I saw those. But I do think it's not him. It's indicative of the larger conversation, where it's like, if you're in a community, if you're in a world where everyone is just talking about Expedition 33, or everyone's just talking about Battlefield 6, you're going to look at the other one and go, well, no one cares. So it's like such a interesting discourse. And I think it comes from what you said, Ralph. It's an imprecise process by nature.
I was going to say, because my biggest snub, I think, is Ambrosia in Games for Impact. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but I will say that when I talked about it on this show, loads of people messaged me and was like, "Thank you for telling me to play this game."
Really?
Because it
cool.
Which is very nice. Like I love giving recommendations and stuff. I think I felt very strongly about Ambrosia at the time. The more I ruminate on it, the stronger I feel about it. I genuinely wonder if it just, I don't know, not enough people played it, but it's one of the most impactful games I've certainly, I think, ever played. Wow. And like, that is not to take away from things like Consume Me, which I keep meaning to get back to. It's a game about disordered eating, and Despelote, Lost Records, South of Midnight, Wonder Stop. I think all of them have their place, but I just think Ambrosia should have been in there.
Interesting.
I think it's interesting too, in a year of high profile remakes, none of them hit any of these lists, and I always just think that's kind of interesting, because
what
some
was
of them
there?
go for broke.
What
there was Metal Gear Solid 3.
Sure.
There was there were definitely a bunch more. I made a list somewhere. Hang on, I made a list because I had this point in my head.
Sure.
Oh no, Silent Hill 2 was last year. Okay, wait,
Yeah,
maybe disregard my point. Okay, look, there's always re-releases, remakes.
The one thing I will say is that I was really afraid last year that because of the release window that Indiana Jones had, I thought it was gonna not get its flowers, and I am so glad that people, the voter, like the jurors or whatever, remembered that Indiana Jones came out.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled. That game rocks. And like obviously I had the
Good
PlayStation 5 release, had the DLC this year.
Do you think the PS5 release helped factor into that? It kind of was kept top of mind not only for
DLC
people
too,
but also the Order of the Giants. Yeah, do you think that?
I think it's more just like this is voted on by critics, and critics would hold a candle for this game because it's a really good game. It's worth remembering. So I agree. I think it. I think
kind of
it
like
probably,
an ImSim, and that's the games journalist's game.
Yeah, that's right. The game journalists are the only people who play ImSim. So, I suspect it wouldn't have hurt, but I think that we still would have. Like, I absolutely believe that people would have gone back and remembered that for sure.
Me,
for sure.
Just like waving my little Indiana Jones flag.
Yeah,
like, I remember us talking about it last year. And I was like, please don't forget
good.
about this game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A lot of Death Stranding overall, which I enjoyed Death Stranding 2 quite a bit. We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
But I still don't think like it had the strongest narrative
for sure
or the most incredible cohesive direction. But
yeah, I think that I obviously didn't love it anywhere near as much as I loved the first. I think that I think the direction in the first one was extremely cohesive. You know, it really felt very singular, like he had this vision. And I feel like in Death Stranding 2, he was just throwing shit at the wall, and it was just like, hey, this would be cool, and then that'll be cool, and that'll be cool. And I understand there can be some method in that madness, like I do, but it just felt too much for me. It was just too sort of flailing, I felt, especially at the back end, which is an incredible finale, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll never forget that finale as long as I live. But I was also like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this, you know?
Yeah. A lot of Ghosts of Yotei as well. A little more than I expected, but I'm biased because I wasn't like super hot on that one.
Yeah. Lucy, how much did you end up playing of Yotei?
Like 15 or so hours. So the thing with Yotei for me is that I think I said this a couple weeks ago, where it just feels like a comfort game.
Yes.
That I'm, comfortable with. I can 100% see where the narrative is going. I like Atsu a lot, but I'm not massively in love with her. But then again, I felt the same about Jin.
Yeah.
It was more the act of being in that world, doing the things that I was doing, taking in the beauty, taking in the, what's that over there? I'm just going to go take a look. So I think, Jake, you said it's very well with it. It is a very, like a straightforward, not necessarily safe. It did do some things, but it's like a straightforward, like what you're going to get. And so I kind of like that. But
yeah, it's funny you say that because like I've said enough about it on this podcast, but looking at my game of the year list and everything, like it's not on my top 10, but it was kind of my open world game of the year, where I just kind of like chilled out and did my thing with it because I just like how those games play. But not enough to like the narrative didn't impact me. The music, I like that it got a nod for music because
fantastic music.
It had great music, I think better than the first, but also the game like taught me how cool a shamisen is.
Yeah.
And now on Instagram Reels, I just watch people playing them all day, and like I just keep swiping, and I see people doing cool covers, like people doing like Master of Puppets on a shamisen.
Cotton Eye Joe on shamisen,
I'll never forget the cover of Cream by Wu-Tang in Westworld.
I didn't remember that. Is that season 1? Is that season
awesome.
1? Yeah, there's a cover of Cream. It rocks.
Right.
That's awesome.
I will say it was so I started yesterday. I finally started Kingdom Come 2.
Oh no, don't do that.
No,
you're too busy. You're too busy for that, Lucy. Trust me. You are not going to finish that video game.
That's a big game, man.
It's 105 hours at least. But incredible. And I would say that I actually feel bad for Kingdom Come because I think
Luke
and another year, any other year, this would have had a real shot. Like I think Claire Obscure is going to win this year. I think I'd be stunned if it doesn't. Right?
For my personal list, it's close for me because the two of them are like indicative of like my favorite crossroads of video games. Yeah. I love Expedition 33 as a storytelling thing. It's incredible. I love those characters. I love those worlds. I'm obsessed with it. Kingdom Come, I just really loved playing and just being absorbed in exploring that world and doing shit like that. And so I'm like, I don't know.
It's tough, man. Go on, Liz.
I was going to say, the thing is that like, I think Kingdom Come will do really well at something like BAFTA. There are some games that just kind of appeal towards like an American audience versus the English audience. Like the at least BAFTA, there are just some games that just like really do well there and really get nominated there. And it just feels like to me, maybe because it's a lot of British talent who worked on that game. I think it's Polish studio.
They're Polish, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, so they're Czech. They're Czech.
Czech studio,
Warhorse.
where it's like, I don't know, like kind of European vibe. It might do better there, or some things do better at GDC, some things do better at DICE. It just kind of depends. I will say though, I think that Expedition's going to do well everywhere.
Yeah,
but,
of course, no question. Yeah, but I do hope that somehow it gets a look in and gets some awards because it really deserves it. It's just it's a truly phenomenal game. The construction of it is just remarkable. It's one of those games where you're just like, how did you put this together? Like, it's just so endlessly surprising. It's so good. It's so good. So but yeah, I mean, look, other than that, it's a pretty standard year for the Game Awards. The games that we expected to be there are there. Most of the ones, at least, and bar a few omissions here or there. But there's nothing, I would say there's nothing that on any list that you're like, that shouldn't be there. And nothing that's like truly galling, like truly like, oh my God, are you serious? Nothing like that, The
one thing I did see people post about today is in adaptation, Twisted Metal is apparently very good. And
it is.
Is it?
Oh, I will say, so I watched the first season of Twisted Metal and I thought it was entertaining. Was it the most incredible like adaptation of the PlayStation 1 game or Twisted Metal Black or anything? No, not at all. But the one that I was like, was Devil May Cry, which I think
I didn't watch.
I've had like a love-hate relationship with it. I liked moments of it.
Yeah.
Some moments I really didn't like. Ultimately, after I watched it, I didn't think about it ever again, which I think says enough.
Was that?
And that's on the list. It's nominated.
Did he do? He's the guy who did
Adi Shankar.
So he did Castlevania
and
Captain Laserhawk, and
he did that incredible appearance at the Ubisoft showcase.
That's right. We saw that in person.
We saw that in person.
Yeah.
He really wants to do Berserk.
Oh. Yeah, and he keeps like taunting the internet with that. The only thing I think that deserves an award is the intro for the Devil May Cry anime with Limp Bizkit. Incredible. Absolutely inspired. Amazing.
I really hope that the Minecraft movie wins and then the whole Game Awards theater just like audience just goes full chicken jockey, right, and tears the place apart.
I haven't seen the Minecraft movie.
Neither have I.
Oh, guys, okay.
I haven't fucking seen that shit.
I'm not paying.
I saw it in a theater alone. I think we've talked about this, but I went to a theater alone in the middle of the day to see it. And I'm like, it's my job. I drunkenly say to the man who ripped my ticket. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's anything else on Game Awards. Most anticipated game. That's an interesting one. 007 First Light. Grand Theft Auto 6. Marvel's Wolverine. Resident Evil Requiem. The Witcher 4. Of that list, Lucy, what is your most anticipated?
My most anticipated?
Of that list.
You know what? Might be... Oh, this is actually really difficult. Either Resident Evil or 007.
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Just because, said it before, I'll say it again, I think Hitman World of Assassination is one of the greatest games ever made. I really enjoyed what I saw of the 007 demo at Gamescom. I want to play that. Resident Evil. No, I take it back from Resident Evil. I really want to play Resident Evil, but I miss The Witcher.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm intrigued as to how it's going to play in Unreal.
I don't really. I just think it'll be in like anything else. It'll just, it'll just stutter. That's all. Let's
Yeah,
say
just
it'll
a
be like
little
The Witcher
micro
3,
stutter
but
for
with
you.
more
Oh,
stuttering. Okay.
Wait. I want to give a shout out to someone. So you know how I've been complaining about Unreal games crashing on my PC?
Yeah, you've been having a
You
thing.
and everybody else, Luce.
Someone emailed me, Davin Weinzimmer, and hey, maybe this will help someone else too. Suggested it's basically an uncapped frame rate issue. So go into the NVIDIA like actual thing and set a frame rate cap, because when shit goes to unlimited, which I guess my 4090 does, it just works itself into a frenzy and hard crashes my PC. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to try it.
Jake, on that list, what is your number one pick?
Did you say Gears of War E-Day?
No one said that.
It's not on the list.
Absolutely no one said that.
Did you say Reanimal? Did you say that?
I mean, Reanimal.
No, I'm just looking at my list.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil Requiem, because I want to know what the deal is.
Sure.
But just out of like pure
Do you think Leon's
kid
coming
excitement,
back?
yeah, definitely.
I think
They are doing a terrible job of trying to like tell people.
they are. They really are.
But like the other one, the childlike excitement, like there's that video game anticipation. It's a tie between Wolverine and GTA 6, because in both of those, I'm like, what is that game even gonna be like? I can't even like fathom what it would actually be like. So, yeah.
Witcher 4 for me, baby, all the way. Don't even need to think about it. 100%.
Wow.
I'm also like,
first.
oh no, dude. I also am like 2026 for Witcher. I don't know, man. Is that happening?
We just talked to them, and it felt like they were just getting started. Didn't we?
Yeah,
Them, like last
they
year.
started last year. They were like still in pre-pro. Oh, like
So
they
then,
just
like,
started production.
Is this most anticipated game full stop? Right?
I think
or like
so.
I thought it was just for 2026. So if it's full stop, fair enough. Then I guess.
I think GTA was last year, and that was before we knew even the full release window.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
and GT, yeah. So
I'm really interested in Ueda's new game.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
It looks
the, like,
incredible.
Robot Shadow of Colossus.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Please
don't.
I'll get upset thinking about it. Let's just keep moving.
And that still has like that doesn't have like a title, right? That's like a project.
I think it's
just a project time.
Project Ueda game.
Yep.
Speaking of Project Century, whatever they've renamed it to, but the RGG one.
Yeah, and they also changed. They're like, it's not the 1920s, now it's the 1940s or something.
Yeah.
Like they just changed.
But maybe it's a time travel thing. Like it could be like a it could be that, right?
Maybe
that'd be cool.
I mean, yeah, like that'd be interesting. But I don't know. They haven't said anything. So
yeah, lots of games, lots of things, good stuff.
Good stuff to be excited about. You know, it's just nice.
Just stuff to be excited. Yeah, yeah, a lot to look forward to. Very curious to see how that all goes down. Of course, you can catch us live on stage at the game. No, I'm just kidding. But some of us will be there. So I
will not be there, sadly. I look, that may change
unless
but no, at the moment there are no plans to go to the Game Awards. You know what? I don't even have a passport right now. So that is I don't have a passport right now.
Again.
That's right. No, I've got to actually. I can get one, but it takes like a couple of weeks. So I guess that kind of settles it. Then I'm not going to the Game Awards.
Can you just pay a man and get it faster?
You can pay like a couple of $100. I think it's quite expensive to do it, but you can get it done fast. Yeah. So yeah, but at the moment, no plans to go to the Game Awards, which bums me out because it's a really fun time. It's great to see everyone, but just got a lot on. Really want to finish out the year, just not overwork, because it's like a week for me to do that, or like 5 days at least between the travel there, the event, the recovery, and coming back, so. I don't know. As I said, tremendous time. Would love to be there. You guys will have to pour one out for me as I'm sitting at home in my garage.
But I don't like it.
No, that's it. Exactly.
We'll be talking about Game Awards stuff plenty, though, together.
We will.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Do we want to talk about our schedule? Because we normally do an episode.
We might as well start getting it out there, because we're not as good at messaging as we should be. So
that's the thing. It's like we chat about things and we assume everyone else knows, which is not the way to.
So it's official. The Friends Per Second podcast is recording our last episode the week of December 15th.
Yes.
So the weekend.
So it'll be like the 20th, 21st.
The 20th
weekend before Christmas, something like that.
Yes. Yep. That'll be our last episode. And then we're going to be back January, the week of the 12th. So we'd be over the course of that weekend, the 17th or the 18th.
I'm gonna be offline.
Yeah, I mean, not me. No, I will try to be offline. I want to paint.
Over the holidays.
I want to take up painting again. Reading books, being a person.
You know what?
Go on.
So I as like 10 million other people did, it got served to everyone on YouTube. I watched a Harvard business review video of like why you should be bored.
Oh, right.
And it's like this 5-minute long video. I watched it at double speed. I'm kidding.
It's so perfect.
But it was like I realized that I don't want to waste my holiday on my phone or online or doing shit. So yeah, I had some time off. I had Monday, Tuesday off this week, and I didn't want to just spend it on my phone. So I made a little like fun menu to be things that I've wanted to do that I keep saying, like I wanted to play this, or I wanted to read that, or I wanted to tidy this, or do like little jobs that I wanted to do. That's still fun, but it means that I'm not just, on my phone the whole time. And that's what I want to do over the holidays is I finally want to finish,
Making a list is brilliant. Just, I know it sounds so simple, but like the amount of times, like I'm always in my head just being like, oh, when I have a minute, I'm going to do this and do that and play that and watch that and read that and fix that. And then when I get to that point, I'm like, what did I want to do? Yeah. So that's great.
I want to maybe organize it by energy levels. But then I feel like
all right, now we're getting too fucking list dork on me.
Oh my God, Lizzie. That does not sound good.
My fun time?
Try to find by energy levels. Oh my God, that's so
I
good.
made a Notion board. If anyone just wants to check
absolutely.
In.
Yeah, Gantt chart for my fun list. I saw actually, I'm not sure because you read books, Lucy. I saw the trailer for this Project Hail Mary.
So I'm not watching that trailer because apparently it ruins it.
Yeah, the whole hook of the movie.
It gives a lot away. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a little thing. And then I'm like, oh, you just showed me that thing. I thought we were going to not see that thing, but I guess you just showed it to me, So
that's on my list. I went to Portland, Oregon a couple weeks ago, and they have so many beautiful bookstores. We went to Powell's. Oh, hello, Jelly. Jesus Christ.
Jump scare.
I got a couple of books that I'm excited to read. So that'll be over the holidays. Did you just fall over? Anyway, were we talking about video games?
Yeah, we should talk about Valve next. Yeah. Because Valve they've announced a suite of hardware products, a new Steam controller, a Steam frame, which is a standalone VR headset, and Steam Machine. These are essentially like a lot of these are kind of like new attempts at things that they've already been doing before. A lot of this was kind of leaked and rumored, but I'll be honest, still like seeing all three things unveiled at once still took me by surprise.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm really interested in what they are up to. I know you guys chatted with Valve, which we'll obviously talk about in a minute, but it's just, I don't know. No one else can do it like Valve. Will you get one? Do you reckon?
I will. So first of all, yes, absolutely. I will get one. Will I use it? Yes, and I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to use it. I think that, because obviously I run a high-end PC, and I think what's great about this Steam machine is that it's calibrated for a mid-level PC, and I think that that's really good for a lot of people are running specs at or near that level, right? So I'm interested in it from a testing perspective. Like when I'm playing through my games, I'll also simultaneously just boot it up on the Steam machine to see how it runs there on those lower specs. The frame, absolutely, for sure. There's no question, because it just looks like a fantastic headset for a variety of reasons. I still use my MetaQuest 3, and this just looks like a better version of that in many aspects. Not in every aspect. I would rather use this because anytime I don't need to go anywhere near Meta, I'm happy. Like the only reason it's literally my only touch point. Oh no, also I use Instagram sometimes and WhatsApp, I guess. So I really can't avoid them at this point. But the fewer touch points, the better. I especially don't want them doing anything with regards to like my games library or what have you. And so just being able to rely exclusively on Valve for VR stuff would be fantastic. Yeah. And the controller's just like, yeah, cool. I'll check it out. No reason not to,
I'm interested to see how the controller feels.
Yeah, I think for me, the console though is I'm like, I love their approach to hardware. I love what they've been doing in recent years. I also really love small form factor. I have built multiple small form factor PCs myself. I fucking love it. But I also am like Ralph, like you said, like I am like a power user, and like I demand a lot. And even when it wasn't my job, I was that type of gamer that was like, just I always wanted the best shit. I want to push the most pixels. Like I want to see the best I can to the detriment of my wallet. And with this, I'm like, yeah, this is exciting. This is awesome. This is a great move. For me personally, I don't know. I'm a tinkerer, so I kind of want to just get one just to have and mess around with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, and we talk about it in the interview a little bit, like I'm big on, I'm bullish on Steam OS more than anything. And I want to do a build and just have like Steam OS running and stuff like that.
Will you get any fun covers?
Absolutely.
I want to just get one that looks like a GameCube.
This is
just a purple one.
The third party market for that is going to be.
It'd be huge. I think that I'm really interested to see. I think the main thing is price, because in the interview that we are about to roll, we do ask them about price, and they say they're not subsidizing this. They say that this is going to be a device that is, if you look at the price of the PC components that, are assembled, that's going to be the price, and obviously there's some fluctuations in that right now because I think, RAM prices are going up pretty fast. But yeah, ballpark, I don't think we can expect this to be a $400 to $500 machine. I think it's much more likely that this is going to be a $700 to $900 machine.
Yeah.
And that's expensive in general. I think it's also expensive when we're talking about a machine that's only promising sort of like middle of the road performance. I think if you look at, say, a PlayStation, you're like, well, PlayStation are obviously subsidizing that device on some level to be able to deliver that level of performance, because they want you in their ecosystem. I think, the next generation of hardware is probably hitting 2027-ish. And that's definitely going to be much beefier than what this device is promising. Who knows what the price points of those consoles will be? They'll probably be $700 to $900 themselves. I mean, that's
in this world, yeah.
Certainly, the Xbox will be, because they're already telegraphing the fact that it's going to be a premium device. I don't know how much Sony are willing to eat on margin and to be able to subsidize the device, but I suspect probably not a lot in the modern era.
Games.
So they got 19 nominations at the Game Awards. They're doing all right.
Like 2 titles.
True. So point is that I just the price with this is really the kicker, and I don't know. I think this is going to be...
it might surprise us performance-wise, because I do feel like the Steam Deck still has moments where it surprises me when I run on it.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh.
Let me come at it this way. Your friend comes up to you and he says, I want to get a gaming machine. In what world do you say you should buy a Steam machine? Like, what's the...
You don't.
Well, I mean, it depends what he wants. He wants it for at home.
Yeah, they want it at home. They want to buy a console / PC. Like, should I buy a PlayStation or should I buy a PC or whatever? Just like, it's a really open question. Who is the person that you say, man, you know what you need? You need a Steam machine. 100% go and get them. Who's that person?
Yeah, I don't know. I think where this can be, I do think that there are people out there, and you could call me out. I could be totally wrong, but there are people out there that are gamers like us. They got an ultra wide. They got their cool little glowing PC that they play every day. They sit at their desk, invested in the Steam library for years and years and years and years, that don't necessarily want to build another kick-ass giant PC to have in their living room or something like that. Okay. That would be sick enough to buy a fun little box and still access their stuff elsewhere.
I mean, to those people, I would say I'd really look at streaming from your PC via like Steam Link or something into your TV rather than buying a new dedicated system. So I don't know about that personally. I think it's more likely
you got to be like me, just run a really, really long HDMI cable through your attic.
I just have mine.
I'm a freak.
Next to my TV. I hate the way it looks. One thing I was going to ask is, how do you think the world demand for high-end graphics cards is going to look in a couple of years with the AI shit.
Man, I don't know, to be honest. It's tough. Like, I think that the prices are only going to go up and up, and I think we don't know what's going to happen with AI, where if the bubble bursts and all the compute requirement, when the bubble bursts and all the compute requirement reduces and NVIDIA's just sitting on massive amounts of silicon that they need to dump, maybe then it gets really good. But maybe it doesn't go that way. And like, we just don't know. Either way, it's not like it's going to get cheap or affordable to buy a high-end GPU. It's always going to be
PC gaming, famously cheap hobby.
That's right. It's always going to be a premium option, always. And so I don't think that ever changes.
Quantum computing. We're going to have like PIM particles in our fucking computers.
Absolutely. I think though that there is like probably a category of person who has been a console main their whole life, and they're coming off Xbox and they're like, well, I've been with Xbox for 15 years and now I'm going to make a step into PC gaming. This kind of device, to be honest with you, makes a lot of sense. I think that, for a really juiced in PlayStation person who has a huge PlayStation library, and again, they're thinking of dipping their toe into PC gaming, this is a really easy way to do that and just say, look, it's going to run pretty well, not fantastic, but pretty well. And you don't need to worry about any of the bullshit, because I do think that there's just a massive mental barrier for so many people when they think about PC gaming, because it's not just the cost, it's also like the updating and the hardware and the repairs and whatever. And this is just like, no, just give Valve, I don't know, $700, $800. They give you a little box. It plays everything.
That comes to your house.
That's right. It's installed in his yacht. In this $500 million yacht. He anchors it near your house. He gets out. He installs it for you. And at that point, you don't need to worry about anything else. And like, I do think that there's going to be a small, but engaged fan base or group of people who want that. I think it's less than the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck's the kind of thing where I will go out and evangelize the Steam Deck. I'm like, no, you should buy this device. It's really, really good, blah, blah, blah. This one, I'm like, it's an option. It's less compelling, But I do think it would find an audience.
And I do think, too, there is, I know two people in real life that have a Steam Deck, and that's it. That's all they have. It's their access to some PC gaming, a lot of indies, a lot of fun stuff. And I think that there's more people out there like that. And for those people, and it might not be a big audience, but the Steam machine might be the logical next stepping stone.
Yeah.
Like the gateway drug into more PC gaming, and in Valve's mind, more access to Steam. So I think it's
Steam comes more of that 30% cut.
Yeah. And I think that, kind of what we've talked about are a lot of subsets, like micro audiences, almost like where, a PC gamer that wants a little extra. This person that wants that. And I think that's important to acknowledge. I think the conversation shouldn't be like, they're going to try and compete with PlayStation or Nintendo. I really don't think they are. I don't think they are at all. And I think to have those expectations is short-sighted. I do think it's interesting when we talk about Xbox, though, just because of similar ecosystem plays, where it's not the console wars, it's more of an ecosystem. I don't even want to say war. It's more of like a Cold War.
Is it a Black Ops Cold War, would you say, Jake?
I would say it's a Black Ops 7 all around, just good stuff.
Look, I agree. I think they're all running very different races. I just think, I think it, that whole conversation around Xbox and their like future with their device and what have you is a separate one. It's one I'm constantly confronting now while I'm playing with the Asus ROG X Ally. Whatever.
I'm telling you, burn it down, put SteamOS on it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I just cannot see the logic in trying to use this as an Xbox device. It's so much simpler to sidestep it and use it as Steam device. You know what I mean? And then I come to that future where Xbox tried to sell a really high-end machine that has Windows on it, and I just can't see it. I just, again, your average person is eventually going to find their way to Steam. If you give them the option to play PC, they are going to find their way to Steam. I cannot see any reason why Xbox would keep me in their ecosystem stuff. The full screen experience they have right now is terrible, and it'll get better, sure, because it's early days, but right now it's terrible. But more than that, there's just like, and I wouldn't ever buy anything from their store, and no one would buy anything from their store. Like, let's be real. Who goes to the Microsoft store right now on Windows and like buy stuff from there? Do you know what I mean? Only people with existing Xbox libraries would do that. It just doesn't make sense. So I think, confronting these questions about the Steam machine's place in the world, well, I see it makes a lot of sense logically because it's just a small device that you can buy it if you want, but what you're really connecting to is the Steam ecosystem. And whether you get there by way of a pre-built PC that you put together yourself and it costs thousands of dollars, or a Steam Deck or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're still getting that way. Whereas Xbox, that's the unsolved equation. Like, how do they actually get you to spend time in their ecosystem? And no matter how powerful the next device is, that's not the answer. The Xbox Series X was the world's most powerful console. Did it help? The ROG X Ally is doing well for sure. Like, it's the most powerful handheld. But is it reshaping the landscape in Xbox's favor? No. The Switch was literally the least powerful console last generation, and it sold 150 million units. It's like the second best selling console of all time after the PS2. So power in this business does not equate to platform success. And so that's why I think the Steam machine, it makes sense, even though it's low powered, whereas the next generation premium, super expensive Xbox doesn't make sense to me.
I've seen a lot of that. Very well said. And I do feel like I've seen a lot of people in comments and stuff like that saying, oh, if I can have a little set-top box device that I can play, like maybe I'm a PlayStation gamer or a Nintendo gamer, but then I also have this little set-top box that lets me play all these little fun things I feel like I've missed out on. Like say when like Stardew Valley just dropped and it was only on PC and you see all these people playing it and you can't because you have a Switch or whatever and it's not on there yet. Now you have this fun little device. You can fire up Steam and get access to more games. So
I think that's
good
it.
Move.
And I think, but also I think it's also not a quick play. Like Steam's been around for a long time and they're going to be around for a long time. Like Steam's going to outlast, like Steam will be around for a long, long time to come.
I was going to say, who could?
You're talking about when I die, Steam's still going to be around.
And so,
well, isn't there a thing about what happens when you die? What happens to your Steam library? Like you can give it.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to pass it on to your kids or whatever. But that's like a thing that's fucked. But anyway, point is,
what do you think I was going to leave to my kids?
That's just all I got.
In this economy, still I've got my Steam library.
Point is, it doesn't. They don't need to worry about it's like a 3-year performance. They're also not a publicly listed company, so it's like as long as Gabe is happy with it, he just stands on the deck of his $500 million yacht. He takes out his phone. He's like, "Yep, we sold some units." And he's happy, and he goes back downstairs.
You sound a little jealous of this submarine.
Oh no! Listen,
sorry.
I would say, no one needs a $500 million yacht. Firstly, okay, the world needs other things. I would say though that Gabe, you're all right, man. Just go and have fun on your yacht, okay? Like you've delivered a good service to us for a number of years. Have fun on your boat.
It's so funny. He doesn't seem like a yacht guy. Like he doesn't seem like helicopter yacht guy. That's like me being like, yeah, I got like a penthouse, like it's like not really a penthouse guy.
The thing that gets me is that if you are so rich, right? Like, and you don't have to really work, you don't have to do anything. You could have anything your heart desires at the drop of a hat. People bend over backwards to give it to you because you've got so much money. Then the next escalation is you're gonna get a fucking yacht.
All right, we're definitely getting off track, so why don't we cut over to our interview now? We were very lucky to be joined by two people, Lawrence Yang and Pierre-Loup Griffais, who I've almost certainly mispronounced his surname, so I apologize. But they work at Valve. They both worked on the hardware launch, doing different things. We've actually spoken to Lawrence in the past on 2 occasions, or is it just one now? I think we've spoken to him
way
twice.
back when.
Just one.
Early users.
Yeah,
Okay.
But I think this means that Lawrence qualifies as being a friend of the show.
Yeah, I know. I think
he gets a jacket.
I think he was like one of our first guests ever. And then I think we had him again. Didn't we get him again for the OLED or something? No?
We
okay,
just
all right.
had him once. But even then, it was very nice to have someone from Valve.
Original.
Super
for sure. For sure. They're great to chat to. Really fantastic interview. So stick around after a word from our sponsor. This video sponsored by our friends Raycon. Lucy was just telling me that you've got your pair of new open earbuds right there. Mm-hmm. Show them, Luce.
I took them with me to Portland.
And Jake actually has his in his car. If you're seeing can you like zoom in a little bit, Luce? You're seeing the distinctive, is the camera going to autofocus? No, it's not.
Yep.
There it is, yeah. Seeing the distinctive design, because it actually doesn't go, the new open earbuds don't go into your ear. They sit on sort of like on top of them, which is really great because most of us are just have a piece of plastic jammed in our ear 24/7 these days. So it's actually really comfortable just to have them sitting on top of your ear, and they sort of hoop in behind. So they're fantastic for exercise because you can run and they don't fall out. And they also, when you're sweating, they don't build up because you don't have the plastic in your ear. It's just more comfortable, I found. So I've been using them really regularly. Basically every time I go out for a walk or a run, I take them with me, and they're just great. As I said, they're very comfortable. Battery life is fantastic. Is it like 30?
Yep.
What's the battery life on these ones?
It is, the earbuds themselves are 8 hours with a 36-hour carrying case.
For sure.
So that's a lot of time. And especially because these are the type I think you can keep on your ear for a really long period of time. Some people live in earbuds all day. And all Raycon products are very comfortable, but these just kind of floating over your ear are incredibly comfortable. And you have a little bit more of like awareness too to your surroundings because your ear isn't plugged up.
I totally feel that when I'm exercising, actually. I really don't like that feeling where I can't hear what's going on around me if I'm running near traffic or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just like that awareness, and that definitely comes from this. I mean, obviously with Raycon, they're always at that very famously affordable price. They're significantly cheaper than, competing earbud brands without sacrificing the quality. That also makes them really great gifts because, they're the kind of thing where you can afford to splurge someone if you're lucky, the gift of good earbuds is great. The gift of a set of earbuds specifically for exercise might be even better because, most people at this point have a pair of earbuds, but not everyone has a pair that's sort of, designed for outdoor exercise and all that sort of stuff. So it could be a really great gift for someone else or a treat for yourself. So,
and of course, Black Friday is around the corner.
True.
So Raycon is having a big old sale on their website with 30% off. So if you want to give them a try, from everyday essentials to the latest releases, including the open ear ones, give it a go. So head over to buyraycon.com/friendsopen to save your precious dollars and money on some Raycons. And thank you again to Raycon for sponsoring this episode. Hey, Jake, have you heard of HelloFresh?
Yes, I have. They are actually the sponsor of this podcast.
They're also the #1 meal kit in America that help make home cooking easier with chef-crafted recipes and fresh ingredients delivered straight to your door. And it's autumn now. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. It's bigger because HelloFresh has doubled its menu.
That's right. That's absolutely huge. I think when some people hear about this type of service you could pay for, they think it's limited. But with them doubling their menu, now you can choose from 100 options each week. There is so much flexibility to this. Seasonal dishes for the fall and recipes from around the world with like different cultures and stuff. So it's cool. They also have bigger portions now to keep people more satisfied. Plus, they're going for an even healthier menu. You're choosing from 15 high protein recipes each week. So again, just so many options. It's crazy. But most importantly, they're actually good recipes and they taste good. That's the biggest thing for me. I can be a bit of a food snob sometimes where I need something like great. And HelloFresh has delivered with the stuff I've made at home.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a thing about confidence is that I did not really grow up cooking much myself. Even when I went to university, even when I left home, let's just say I had a lot of beans on toast. I had a lot of Brinner. You know what Brinner is? It's breakfast
British
for dinner.
Oh.
No, it's breakfast for dinner. It was some kind of beans on toast or cereal situation. But with HelloFresh, the fact that the recipe cards are so easy to follow, all the ingredients are there, they are tasty, they are fresh, help me build my confidence and help me make things that I could never imagine making if I was just trying to do it all by myself and, there was no guidance. There's also like little alterations you can make to the menu. Yeah. And now I just have like a big stack of stuff that I know I can make, but it's real nice getting stuff delivered and having it sent to my door. And I have the confidence now with which to cook it.
Confidence, but then also convenience, but also quality. That's the biggest thing. The best way to cook just got better. So just go to HelloFresh.com/FPS10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals are applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. But again, that is HelloFresh.com/FPS10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. Check that out. And big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this podcast. Hey, folks. How you guys doing?
Hey, great. Doing well.
How are you guys feeling after revealing 3 hardware things? I feel like you guys were probably like going crazy not revealing it to the world. Now it's finally out there. You guys feeling good?
Yeah, it's a big relief to have all that stuff out there. I mean, we're super happy with how that's been looking so far. I think people have a lot of good feedback. It's been really good to read the conversations and be able to talk about it more openly. I think for us, when we're working on all this stuff, it's pretty hard for us to try and keep it all under wraps, right? Like it creates additional work every step of the way. So we're pretty glad to be able to release a bunch of the stuff we've been working on now without having to worry about it potentially, tipping our hand in terms of the hardware and stuff.
Yeah, it's a real tax to try to keep things secret. So it's nice to finally be able to talk about things and actually ship stuff and not have to worry about leaking strings or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, just today we were putting live some of the ARM Steam runtime stuff and some components that it's just started now in terms of actually shipping it. So we're super excited about that.
What's like when you start seeing leaks for it pre-release though? Like, are you sort of going, "Fuck, how did they figure that out? What the hell?" Are you like you sort of like go panic stations, or are you just like, "Oh well, nothing we can do about that. Let's just keep on keeping on."
It's funny and a little annoying. I mean, we joke because every now and then people will ask us like, you guys are doing that on purpose, right? It's like, no, why would we? We work so hard not to do that kind of stuff. And a lot of the leaks, at least this time, a lot of the leaks were not from us. It's just other people doing things that let things slip. But
yeah, I mean, I think we helped,
we did help a little bit.
Yeah, accidentally. Yeah, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of figuring that out by trying to figure out, okay, what happened there. But there's also, in a sense, every leak is an opportunity to get feedback, right? And so, sometimes the thing that actually gets out in the public is misleading or incomplete, so you don't get full feedback. But when people in the community are actually really really perceptive and smart about that stuff, so even in the earliest leaks, people were kind of predicting what we were doing. And so when those predictions align with what we're working on, we actually have an opportunity to get a lot of advanced feedback on what we're doing. And usually it's just, it's a good kind of rallying effect for the team where everyone's like extra excited to be working on what we're working on.
It's also a good confirmation when people sort of read into what we're doing and they're like, oh, it makes sense for them to do X, Y, Z because of these things that they've already put into place. And we're like, yes, exactly. That is why we're doing it.
For sure.
Yeah, the thing that caught me by surprise, though. Go ahead, Ralph.
No, I was going to say, just before we continue, I think it'd be interesting just to understand your roles in this project, because the last time we spoke, I think we spoke with Lawrence, and Lawrence, you're just like, yeah, I'm just doing things. You don't really have like a specific job title. I'm like, I just do a bit of this, a bit of that. Like, I understand Valve works very sort of amorphously, and I just wondered what your specific contributions were to these various products. So if you could just take a minute to explain that, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. Specific contribution is always hard because it's such a team effort, right? There's a ton of work that goes into stuff, and so by the time anything ships, dozens of pairs of hands have touched it. So it's a little bit hard to attribute any work, to me specifically. But in general, I try and think about platforms. So I work on Steam and open source projects that contribute to the various efforts that we have around Linux and just the ecosystem, to grow it for desktop and PC use, and also on our hardware projects. So, kind of a double whammy of like developing our internal platforms, the hardware stuff, and also external platforms like SteamOS and all the components that come into play there.
Yeah. And I'm, like I said last time, I'm a designer by trade, and I am still a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, I do a lot of stuff related to UX, especially where hardware UX hits Steam and things that we might need to be updating with regard to like pairing flows or out-of-box experience, things like that. Most recently, leading up to announcement, I spent a lot of time thinking about communications and press and marketing and how we talk about these things. And then now that we've announced, I'm going to go back to do more product level stuff. So little of this, little of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. That's good. I think the first thing of all the announcements, the controller is the one that caught me by surprise. I was a big fan of your original attempt at a controller, and I didn't expect to see this one coming. But what was the kernel of idea for this? Like, what to you guys is special about this controller?
Yeah, I mean, if you've used the original controller, I think you'll see all the same elements in there, right? And so it's really much a continuation of the same idea of being able to play all the games in your library and not just the ones that were made for a controller, right? But for this specific version, most of the learning process that went into the design of it actually happened as part of the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck have a very similar set of controls there. And our process to get there was, okay, we want to attain the same goal as the original Steam controller, the one you had, which is to be able to play everything. But we want to have that level of familiarity that people expect with normal controllers, because we got a bunch of feedback back then that while people enjoyed the fact that it was a PC peripheral that you could use to play keyboard and mouse games and all that, for actual like games that were thought around controllers and things that really expected dual stick inputs, there was some drawbacks, right, and a little bit extra learning compared to ideally what we would want. So the Steam Deck controls were kind of a trade-off between getting at all these goals, but also being super familiar, so you could just hit the ground running. And this controller is a direct continuation of that.
Yeah, and it has, in addition to having the familiar controls of Steam Deck, it has a few extra, not bells and whistles, but additional features that we think will make this an even better controller. So the TMR thumbsticks, magnetic thumbsticks, so that it has a tiny dead zone and really long life. We added a new capacitive area in the back called Grip Sense as another way to enable and disable motion controls. And then the included Steam controller puck is a good way to have a really easy plug and play connection that also doubles as a charging station. So a lot of thought went into how we can make this a really good controller for all of your games, no matter whether they were made for a controller or not.
Yeah. Tell me, I think you guys were like talking up the trackpads on the Steam Deck. Like, people actually use those, and like, I get that they would use it, but I wonder how much they're using it. Like, do you have any data about like what percentage of players are using the trackpads, or what percentage of game, like anything at all, to sort of guide your decision on like why you've doubled down on that in this controller?
Yeah, we don't have a ton of fine-grained data on how people use things, but we have some data on what kind of configurations they're creating, right? And if those configurations are using the trackpad or using the gyro or using the grip buttons. So we look at all that stuff. But for something like a trackpad or one of these features, the effect that we usually see is that it's not a majority of people that use them, but the people that use them depend on them heavily, right? Because there's certain games that you're completely blocked off, at least maybe there's some features in Steam Input you can use to bridge the gap with a normal controller without a trackpad, but you're not going to have the same experience, right? So like for some of those games, or things like getting a little bit extra performance for FPS games, getting through launcher screens, interacting with the desktop, I think those are the most common things. And then there's also games that were made for PC keyboard, right, that have a ton of hotkeys. And for that, we have a bunch of features, like you can have on-screen menus and put 16 hotkeys on a trackpad and just pick them out like that, similar to how we do trackpad typing. So those are, I guess, the main use cases we've seen for people using trackpads in a while.
Well, from an ergonomic standpoint, is everybody says it's a Steam Deck, but without the screen in the middle. But I feel like there was definitely more design. Lawrence, I remember speaking with you last time about like the process of coming up with the controller. Did you guys go back to the drawing board and do similar things?
Oh yeah, I think last time we talked, I might have shown you a bin full of 3D printed parts where we were coming up with different like we have a similar bin full of even more 3D printed configurations for a Steam controller. So a lot of thought went into how those the trackpad specifically, like how are they positioned to be the most comfortable, so they're actually rotated or clocked a little bit and canted, so they're like tilted a little bit, so that they're the most comfortable for your thumbs to hit them. And like PL said, it's not something you're gonna like. Some people will never use them, or some people only use them really rarely, but when they are useful, they are extremely useful, like getting through a launcher screen or using the desktop. And especially when you're using it with a PC or with a Steam machine, you can't fall back to a touchscreen anymore. So in a case where, I can just get through this by jabbing the screen, now you really don't have any other recourse, unless you do have a trackpad in some cases.
Yeah, in general, on the controller, you have a little bit more room to work with compared to the deck. So we were able to just take a little bit more liberties with ergonomics and get to a better outcome there by having just a little bit more flexibility with where the inputs are and how they're laid out. But if you look at like there's some people in the community that are making mock-ups of like, okay, here's the controls from the deck, and if you put them where you'd expect, if your hands are closer, it kind of looks like that. It's very close, right? Those match almost perfectly.
Yeah, we have our own version of that. Literally cut out the screen and like put them together, and everything's like vertical. And it turns out that's actually pretty uncomfortable in a lot of ways.
Right.
Your hand positions when your arms are close are very different than when they're a foot apart.
Of course, yeah, sure. So moving on to the the Steam Frame, obviously that was rumored for a little bit. It made sense that Valve wanted to continue in working in this space. What were your key learnings from the Index that you were really reflecting on when it came time to develop the Frame?
Yeah, we learned a ton from Index, and I mean something that we always say is everything builds on what we made before. Steam Deck built on everything that we made before, and Steam Frame also built off of Valve Index and Steam Deck in a lot of ways. So what we heard from players is that we and they liked a lot about the Valve Index and what it brought in terms of a new level of fidelity for PC gaming. But there were certain things that folks felt can be improved. Things like I wish it was easier to set up. I wish I didn't have a tether. I wish I could just like pop it on and play a game. I wish it was lighter. I wish it was more comfortable. So a lot of these things really did drive a lot of the key design decisions around what went into Steam Frame. So the decision to go with camera tracking, inside-out tracking instead of base stations was a very intentional choice, so that people don't have to worry about, oh, this is my VR room where I have the base station set up, and if I want to move the room, I have to move the base stations. And then similarly, the lack of a tether is really great. Like you don't have to worry about wrapping the tether around your foot if you're turning around. But that also led to some other innovations, because we're like, okay, well, if we're going to go wireless streaming for this thing, because we think that's the best experience, we're going to need to make sure that streaming experience is extremely good. So then we did a bunch of stuff around software and hardware to make sure that it would be a rock solid streaming experience.
And just to be clear on that, anyone who doesn't know, there are essentially two Wi-Fi channels, and one of them is dedicated just to streaming data from the PC, which is connected via a dedicated dongle, which I understand is called internally the chongle, right? And am I wrong about that? Is that correct or not?
I think you have some misinformation.
You got your dongles mixed up, but it's okay.
Was it the other dongle? Was it the other dongle that was the chongle?
That's right.
Sorry, I'm confusing my chongles and my dongles. My apologies. Allegedly. Yeah. So anyway, it connects into the PC. It streams dedicated, and there's another Wi-Fi channel available, which is exclusively for actual internet data, and that's how you get that sort of improved throughput. So is there any kind of metrics around how much more sort of bandwidth that opens up in terms of you've noticed X% improvement in terms of fidelity and throughput with those two channels versus not, or anything around that?
It's a little hard for that specific metric. It's a little hard because everyone's Wi-Fi situation is so different. And that's part of why we're including the adapter. Is there are some people who have amazing Wi-Fi setups at home. And for those people, they're like, well, what if I just want to go directly over my Wi-Fi router? They can. Like, it's totally fine too. But we know that everyone has a different setup. So we wanted to make sure that by default, we know we can give you this wireless adapter and it will give you a direct link. And that we also don't want that to be competing for bandwidth with whatever you're doing online. So that for us, there isn't really a metric of how much it's better. It's kind of it depends on how bad it used to be.
Yeah.
It's not really about bandwidth, right? It's more interference that results in things like spikes, right? Yeah. And so you can't really quantify that with a number. But those are the kind of issues you're going to have, right? When you're talking to the internet at the same time, then, or if your link is trying to retry in a way that causes like a latency spike, your effective bandwidth's not actually going down that much, but it's enough to not be as good of an experience.
Yeah. The thing that will affect bandwidth, or at least effective bandwidth, is the other stuff that we did in software with the eye tracking and foveated streaming. So foveated streaming is this new feature that Steam Frame has where we have cameras that are looking at your eyes and tracking it really fast to see what you're looking at. And basically, we just tell the wireless adapter, hey, only shoot over the bits that your eyes are looking at. And basically, that ends up being kind of a 10% chunk of that screen. And if you extrapolate that out, that's like a 10x improvement in bandwidth, of effective bandwidth, because we're only shooting 10% of the bits, but at like 10x the resolution, only to the parts where you're looking at. And this is one of those things where it's hard to describe, but easier to show. When we had press on site, we showed them a little demonstration of how it was working, and no one was able to actually see it when it was in use until we turned on a visualizer, and they could see their eye bouncing around, and they were never able to catch up with the sharp area of the frame.
So was this actually like an innovation that you guys developed, or is this technology that you acquired from somewhere? Like, where does this come from?
Yeah, pretty sure we had developed this internally.
We developed all that stuff in-house. I mean, even since the early days of VR, like all the original chart controllers and just, I guess, this VR stuff as you know it, I think we did a lot of the original development of that in-house as well. Yeah,
it's fascinating. It just makes so much sense. It's such a great idea.
Yeah, it's cool.
What led to you guys lean towards? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I really think that this foveated streaming thing is cool because it also means that developers don't have to do anything. The way that it's set up, a lot of folks in the VR space know about foveated rendering, which uses similar eye tracking technology to say like, oh, computer who's running the game, only focus your rendering energy on the 10% that they're looking at. But that requires a developer making the video game to do that work to implement that feature, whereas this will just automatically work on any game.
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor on leaning on streaming rather than focusing on just computing on the hardware itself?
Well, if you look at like the current index experience that people are having, they have a bunch of content that they're playing. I think it's important that they're able to just play all the same games, right? That you can have this exact same experience, and so that streaming is the main way to guarantee that. There's a lot of games that are very performance demanding, right? That to offer like really good visuals, and those would be hard to get to run on a small mobile device. So like streaming is a way to make sure that your whole library is available to the same extent that it would be if you had something directly plugged into your PC.
Yeah, and also like the whole library, including non-VR games. Like we want you to be able to play a AAA game on a gigantic screen inside of VR, and the best way to experience that is streaming. That said, like we are excited about standalone and all the work we did on FX and the different translation layers to make all that work is really cool, and it's getting better every day. It's kind of like the early days of Steam Deck. So we do think that as we roll out the developer kit program, as we improve things on the FX and Proton and SteamOS side, by the time we launch next year, we're hoping to have like a pretty robust library of Steam Frame standalone play verified games.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
Name team.
That's a good segue, actually. Sorry, Jake, you go. You're going to say something.
I was just going to say, with the amount of work you guys have been doing with streaming here, do you think we could see any ripple effect with Steam Link? Because I know there are plenty of people who still use that.
Well, I think the streaming work we've been doing is just like you said, improve the experience for anyone that's using remote play, no matter what their endpoint is. So the Steam Link app on Android is a good example of that. I think some of the UX improvements that are just being made as part of that are gonna benefit that experience as well. But also from any two devices running Steam. If you have a laptop and a main computer, if you have a Steam Deck and a Steam machine, and a frame and a machine or any PC, I think all those areas of work that we've been doing are going to benefit there. The foveated streaming part is only applicable to the frame, however, because the eye tracking is required on the terminal side.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, I think you guys have already said that you're not working on any VR titles currently at Valve. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're not talking about content. Yeah.
Not talking about content. Okay.
Yeah, we're not announcing anything in terms of games or anything. Like
okay, so no Half-Life 3 announcement today.
We're not doing that.
All right, we had to try. We had to try.
That's it. Wrap it up.
But a broader question though, zooming out of the VR landscape, how are you feeling about the state of it from the software side of things, right? Because I feel like we had a really big push with sort of VR gaming stuff a few years back, which obviously was typified by Alex. And since then, it feels like it's dropped off a fair amount, and I wondered how confident you're feeling in that landscape. Do you see that we're sort of at an equilibrium with interest? Do you think it's going to surge in future? Like, what are your predictions for where that might go in the coming years?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think my hope is that products like Steam Frame will help kind of galvanize more interest in the VR space. I mean, part of what we're doing by shipping it with an ARM chip is that it is able to basically play mobile VR games that are that have been made to target other headsets that are running ARM chips. And we really hope that those developers will bring their games to Steam and to Steam Frame and sort of bolster that library. We are also looking at Steam Frame a little bit differently from like a standard VR headset, in that unlike Index, which was a VR appliance for your PC to play PC VR games, we just see it as a new way to play your entire Steam library, whether it's VR or not VR. So from that standpoint, we kind of see the footprint of it being a little bit larger.
It's been cool to see PC VR stuff grow and evolve, though. I mean, I think, it's a whole new genre that didn't really exist a decade ago, right? Like that just came out of nowhere after all that tech innovation, and it all started on PC, right? Like most new game genres or business models or anything, because it's an open platform where you can do anything, right? And so I think it's really important to us in general. The fact that Steam Frame is going to have a bunch of opportunities for more people to experience that content, it can only be a good thing for that, right? Even if you're playing a flat game, you're still in headset, you're able to stand up and go play a game or play a seated VR game. So we're excited that there's just going to be more available users for all that cool content.
Yeah. Well, I think another thing that may enlarge the landscape is the Steam Machine, which you guys have also announced, which is kind of the one that really was a big surprise to me. So basically, if anyone doesn't know, it is a dedicated PC that's running SteamOS, and it's 6 by 6 inches, so it's a little cube, hence it being nicknamed the Gabe Cube, and it will ship. There's an option; it will ship with and without a controller. Correct? As in, there's bundles that you can choose from. Correct?
Yep.
And yeah, so it's really interested to hear, how this happened. Because obviously Valve had a crack at this Steam Machine model a number of years ago, but it was a very different attempt. So maybe we can start there, and what were the learnings from that attempt that you look to sort of respond to here with this different approach?
Yeah, when we shipped original Steam Machines, a lot of work was put in the OS, of course, and we did a ton of work with both internal teams for our game teams, but also external game developers to get the games over to the platform, right? Porting them to Linux and SteamOS, porting them to OpenGL. In doing that, we understood firsthand how much work it is to actually do that, right? And so we came out of it thinking, okay, we think we actually nailed the experience, right? Like getting in and out of the games and the living room and everything, like that's working fine. But the catalog is not where it needs to be because porting games is too hard, right? And there's not also a strong reason to to incur a bunch of hard work to port the games if there's not a bunch of people already using. So we had a little bit of a bootstrapping problem, right? And so immediately following that, we started working on Proton and the Vulkan API as well, which are kind of building blocks of things that we're leveraging now so that the whole library can be played without a bunch of work from the game developers to port the game. Instead, I think it took almost a decade of work to get there to the point where games just run out of the box. But now that we're here, and Steam Deck kind of proved that it was possible, I think it was the right time to get to the living room again with the product like the Steam Machine. For the work that game developers have been putting into games to make them run better on Steam Deck and on Steam Machine and Frame going forward, we're excited that the type of work that we're seeing being done is actually not porting work. It's just work that makes the game better on every platform. Things like adding different options for control schemes, adding more scalability options for lower performance machines, improving UI density so it's more legible on small screens or screens that are far away. All of this work is happening right now and is getting more games to the deck verified finish line, right? But all of this stuff it was going to apply equally to Steam Machine and Steam Frame as well, and we're seeing the ramifications of that, meaning that the whole Steam catalog is more accessible on any PC and not just our products, and we're really excited about that.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay, you go.
I was curious about jumping from that anti-cheat and that whole situation. You guys have gone on record about this a little bit in terms of it being supported on the developer side, but have you guys done any rethinking with that approach now that it's going to be a box plugged into a TV in somebody's living room? accessing some of these games online?
It's been definitely something we think about, and there is more reasons to think about it in that environment, like you're pointing out, right? Because there's more reasons that someone would want to play an online game that requires anti-cheat if they have a machine like that compared to something like the Steam Deck. So definitely is something that's been like we've been working on it. We've enabled all the TPM APIs, right, that game developers would need to be able to build their anti-cheat systems. We've been working with a bunch of developers, right, like the players in the field that you might expect that are doing a lot of advanced anti-cheat stuff on the client side, and we're trying to make sure that we're working together towards something that can be supported. But at the end of the day, I think supporting anti-cheat and is kind of a constant effort, right? Like you have the system, the infrastructure, and you're always rolling out updates. There's a lot of like active things you're doing, and I think some of that work by nature, because it's so close to the platform, will have to be SteamOS specific. And so I think it will be something that like some publishers or some game developers will have to decide at their own rhythm if they want to do that work for SteamOS or not.
Right.
But we've been trying to help any way we can along the way.
Yeah, right. Interesting. So it is basically happening in the sense that like you're working on it, but you can't give us any kind of timeline or what have you, because ultimately it's up to these anti-cheat providers and publishers to sort of make the decision to develop solutions that are compatible with SteamOS.
Right, and there's some things that are on our plate as well, for sure, that we've been working on in the background that will make that easier on their side as well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, cool. So, and just coming back to that sort of decision to green light the Steam machine, like, did it happen kind of organically? Like, you put all this work into making a deck, and then someone was just in like around the water cooler, be like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we'd made a console?" And then someone's like, "Yeah, let's do that," and then it just happened? Or was it like, no, it was an agonizing decision, we weren't sure what we were going to do? Like, walk us through that moment when you sort of tick the box and off we go?
I mean, as you can imagine, the idea wasn't really groundbreaking. So everyone understood that it's something we could do even before Deck. But I think after shipping Deck and seeing a year or two go by and watching all the catalog become like closer to Deck verified, and seeing a bunch of these tweaks to have default graphical settings, seeing the great experience that people are having with it, I think it really proved to us that okay, actually we should be able to pull this off now.
And also we shipped the Steam Deck dock around the same time, and we saw basically 20% of people who bought a Steam Deck also have a dock. And that doesn't even include the people who got a third-party dock. So there are a lot of people who are actually playing Steam Decks docked to a TV, which is kind of what led to Steam Controller, because they're like, oh, this kind of sucks. I want to play my Steam games but I don't have all the inputs that I'm used to for my Steam Deck. And so that kind of led to Steam Controller, and they're like, oh, I'm playing all my Steam games in my living room. Be cool if this had a little more power to it. So
yeah.
Working back from an existing audience of users that are using the thing, the experience in the way that we're proposing to improve, and are giving us immediate feedback on what works and what doesn't work, is really our preferred way to go about it. So like, we're not trying to build something that because we think it's a good idea. We want to make sure that users are into it. And so for us, having those Deck users that were docked, that were telling us things about the level of performance they're getting, but also having to leave their controller behind when they're docking the Deck, right, and having to use a third-party controller. All of that gave us a really crisp direction on the things to improve on for that experience.
And I'm curious about, obviously, price, because that's a huge question with this, because we look at this device and we understand that it's sort of a mid-level PC in that sort of category. You've said that the Steam machine is more powerful than 70% of gaming PCs that you register on the hardware server. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think in terms of like general GPU level, I think we have looked at that number as part of speccing the machine, so it's possible it's evolved a little bit over time. But I think ballpark, it's about there.
Yeah. So then, obviously, that question becomes like, okay, well, where does the price land? I know you haven't announced a price yet, but I mean, can you give us any information about what consumers might expect in this regard?
I think that if you build a PC from parts and get to basically the same level of performance, that's the general price window that we aim to be at. Ideally, we'd be pretty competitive with that and have a pretty good deal, but we're working on refining that as we speak. And right now is just a hard time to have a really good idea of what the price is going to be, because there's a lot of different things that are fluctuating.
A lot of external factors that are
absolutely. So, but it's not going to be a sort of subsidized device. Like Valve's not going into this thinking we're going to eat a big loss on this so that we can grow market like share or category or anything like that. Correct?
No, it's more in line with what you might expect from the current PC market. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, our goal is for it to be a good deal at that level of performance, and then you have features that are actually really hard to build if you're making your own gaming PC from parts, right? Like things like, obviously the small form factor, and I think the noise level that we achieved or lack thereof is really impressive, and we're excited that the people are going to find out how quiet this thing is.
Yeah.
But also some integration features like HDMI CEC, right? Like being able to turn on your TV, turn off your TV, change the control it with your TV remote, change the volume, all that kind of stuff. Like the Bluetooth and wireless work that we've done, the 4 antennas, the like very deliberate design to make sure that you can have a great experience with 4 Bluetooth controllers from any manufacturer, plus our Steam controller receiver integrated as well. Like that's all hard to do, but more importantly, you can turn on the machine from your controller, right? Which is not something that's actually straightforward depending on the type of PC you have or the main chipset and all that. So like being able to sit down on your couch, press one button on your controller, and the whole thing lights up like you'd expect for a thing that's in your living room, I think that's very valuable. And there's not really a price point to that, because it's not really something that exists in the PC market right now. And so I think there's people that are going to be perfectly happy building their PC at whatever level of spec, and that's going to be a great experience for them. I think we're building SteamOS so that if they want to use it for that, they can, and they can have essentially the same experience. And if they're happy with that, that's perfectly good with us. But we expect the machine is a nice baseline offering that lets you have some features that are really hard to get to otherwise.
And part of the, like for me, one of the benefits of Steam Machine is I'm someone who used to build my PC in college, and I am too old and tired to do that now. So I would like to have a nice PC that I can
feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
Would Valve at all be interested in a Steam Machine Pro? Because obviously you've got this unit which is hitting at that mid-level. Is that the kind of thing that might fit into the category in the future, do you think? Potentially,
yeah. I think we're open to anything. For now, we're focusing on this level of spec because we think it's a good trade-off between affordability and the level of power we get. I think we're excited that the level of performance kind of gets you to the point where the whole library is pretty much good to go, and you don't really have to worry about a game that's going to come out or not. There's always some settings you can find that are going to get to a pretty good experience. So we're trying to find that sweet spot, right? But I think there's a variety of different spec levels in the PC market. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do to get super crisp like 4K native outputs, or even going beyond that, very high refresh rates. There's the PC ecosystem is too big to be able to pin down and say, okay, this is it, this is PC, right? And so we're actually super excited to see what people do from their own parts or working with third parties as well, because we're trying to make sure that SteamOS is going to be good for any spec level and not just the one that we chose.
Have you guys rethought retail at all? Have you had any conversations about possibly, now that you're rolling out multiple pieces of hardware, putting these in stores, or are you kind of sticking with your game plan?
For right now, we're still focusing on Steam Direct for the regions that we're shipping directly to. We do distribute in a few regions through Komodo in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and they do sell in retail stores. But for our direct regions, we think having a direct relationship with our customers selling through Steam has been working out really well with Steam Deck.
I would want to dive into something a little separate. Lawrence, earlier you did talk about speaking to players and like marketing and stuff like that. I've noticed since the Steam Deck, there's been a very specific kind of fun, lighthearted tone to the way these products are revealed, how they're explained. Yeah. So I would just love to know a little insight in terms of like, how do you come up with like language and vibe for Valve? Like, it's such a ubiquitous company. Like, where do you even start with that?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, for a lot of this announcement, a lot of the communications were kind of a group of 4 or 5 of us. Really, were like building the website, writing it, writing the script for the video, making that video. It's just really a small group of us, and that's just the tone that we chose. I think it's fun and it's human, and we think that it's a good way to talk about our products. Like, it's fun to talk about products and tell people about it because we don't have to put any spin on anything. We just are really excited about it. So we're like, okay, how can we just tell people about things in a really clear human way? And that's just sort of how it comes out.
That's cool.
Should have put all of the computer devices into like a big fat hydraulic press and then squeezed it closed. yeah, that went over really well. That went over really well for other companies.
Yeah, we should do that next time.
No, they're a happy
Next
family.
time.
You can't prep them.
We were really happy with the let's all go to the lobby animation we made for all 4 devices.
It was fantastic.
That's what it felt like. Yeah.
When they were marching at the end, I was like, oh yeah, I feel the vibes. It was really nice. So just to finish up, Steam Deck, obviously, we've spoken about that in the past, and you sort of said to us battery life was sort of the main limiting factor with regards to, advancing in power level, advancing to a Steam Deck 2 or what have you. I feel like the message has changed a little bit now. You're further along in that thinking. It sounds like there's more than just battery life that you're considering now when you're thinking about the evolution of the Steam Deck. So just talk us through where you're at right now and what we're likely to see in the future.
Yeah, it might have been conflated because I think what we've tend to talk about is like we want there to be a big leap, right? A generational leap is what we've said in terms of like performance in a specific power envelope. So that might be the battery life, because like anyone can ship something that has like a ton of power and can play any game with really amazing settings, but then it'll run for 10 minutes. So like I think the trick is finding a chip that and like working with someone to build something that can play games at another level of performance without sacrificing a ton of battery life. I think Pierre-Loup can say a lot more about that.
Yeah, but battery life is really more about maintaining the current level of battery life that we have with Steam Deck OLED, which we're really happy with where we got there. But for sure, just adding power at the cost of battery life is not an acceptable trade-off in our Steam Deck 2 considerations. We want to have a big performance leap at the same battery life that we have right now. And the technology for that, simply put, just does not exist today. I think architectures are getting better and processes are getting better, but the kind of off-the-shelf, chips that you see being used for various handhelds and other devices right now are directly taken from like kind of laptop roadmap chips, right? They're not customized for handheld, so they're targeting power envelopes that are more like 30 to 35 watt peak, right? As opposed to the Steam Deck custom silicon that is kind of a 7 to 12 to 15, maybe if you're being generous, watt power envelope. But more importantly, it's designed to run efficiently at those levels, as opposed to targeting a little bit higher level of performance. And so we're trying to make sure that we stay there and we don't compromise on portability and battery life, because everyone that is using Steam Deck is telling us that's really important to them.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of SteamOS also, because SteamOS to me seems like the most important thing here. It is central to all this. How are we looking at in terms of timeline for SteamOS becoming this super easy thing where I can put together a machine and install it right away? Because I'm itching to do that. I installed it on my ROG Ally X not too long ago. I had some little finicky things here and there, but like how far are we looking in terms of this being easy and I can get it on all my devices?
I think we're getting closer. The work that we've done behind the scenes for Steam Machine, but also in general, has been aimed at just increasing the amount of compatibility that we have with different pieces of hardware, different chipsets, different platforms. One thing that we've done, I think just last month, is we added support for the latest RDNA 4 AMD GPUs. And I think we have better support now for Intel platforms. We added Lunar Lake in the last couple of weeks as well. So it's getting closer and closer, right? Like there's a bunch of big pieces that we're still working on. We don't we don't think that it's super important right now to work on the installation experience because there's still big gaps in the hardware support and the core experience, right? If you're installing on a random PC that might have some chipsets or parts that we're not supporting yet. So we want to work on that first, we think. But once we get to, I guess, an inflection point where we think, it's good enough to be a good source of feedback for a bunch of people, I think then we'll do some work on the installation experience. Because right now, the experience that you have, if you try and install SteamOS, is essentially the Steam Deck recovery image. That's the one thing that we have, right? Which is not what most people might expect. At the same time, most people don't expect to be installing any OS at all, right? They buy a system and there's an OS on there and it works well enough for them usually. So we're also working with more hardware vendors on preloading SteamOS on their devices as well.
Cool. Great.
Last question. Is there any chance at all that the Steam machine comes pre-installed with a brand new Valve game? Any chance of that when it ships next year?
No.
No. God damn it. Come on, man. You could have at least given us some hope.
Sorry.
I like a frank answer.
That's right. Shut it down.
Yeah, I think in practice, we're making some tweaks to the Aperture Desk Job interactive shorts
okay, cool, nice.
To be playable with the Steam controller, because there's a ton of overlap with, it's kind of a guided tour of the controls of the Steam Deck, and I think there's a ton of overlap. So you might install that on your Steam machine and try it out, but I think we're excited about all the other games that are out there that you'll be able to play on.
Cool.
And if you have a Steam Deck, you can just throw your micro SD from your Steam Deck into your Steam machine, and then those are the games that are pre-installed on your Steam machine.
That's very nice. It's actually a bit of that's an underrated feature, I think. That doesn't get a lot of attention, but that is actually pretty cool that you'll be able to do that. Absolutely.
It's on the frame too.
Yeah, you can plug it into your frame.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for making the time. We really, truly appreciate it. It was a fantastic chat, and it's always just so fascinating to watch the moves that you guys are making. And big fan of the whole hardware lineup. As in, Steam Deck's been fantastic, and Steam controller back in the day was weird but cool in its own way. And this one's looking great. And just lots of reasons to be excited for the future. So best of luck with it, and thanks again for joining us.
For sure. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Fellas.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Jake, do you know what happened on November 1st?
Was that like a V for Vendetta thing? Like
remember? My dad texted the group chat, "What do you want for Christmas?"
Of course, the big question.
What do you all want?
Thankfully, you can direct him to an easy place. Uncommon Goods.
Yes. I kind of tend to overthink gift giving. Or underthink it. I feel like I can never find the right balance. However, I have used Uncommon Goods before. Like, they sponsored this podcast. I was genuinely thrilled because I've used them to buy gifts for people in my life for a couple of years now. In particular, like my friends who have kids. I never know what toys they're into. Are they too young for Star Wars? Are they too old for Star Wars or something like that? Uncommon Goods has like just really creative and fun gifts, and that are genuinely, I'll give them. I'm not giving gifts for the game of it, I'm not doing it for that self-satisfaction. But when I give something from Uncommon Goods, people know. People like it.
It's a site that just has thousands of unique, high quality things that you're not going to find anywhere else. And I was like, we'll see about that. But after perusing their website and buying some stuff, I was genuinely impressed with and I mean this in a good way, like a strange, weird, kind of eclectic offering of products. But they have like all different categories. So if you are looking to buy a gift for a person, it's like, do you have a gamer, a tech enthusiast, a gardener, a chef that someone who likes those types of things? And then from those subcategories, all kinds of interesting stuff that I haven't seen on other sites or marketplaces. I've got a weird candle. I also got these cool little spooky rock ghosts that I put in my garden. They just have a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's also like practical stuff that you would never think to buy, or like you would never think to buy for yourself. So one of the things I got for myself, I've been using it throughout this entire podcast. You'll never know. You can't see. But I got this foot roller, which I have my feet overpronate, and I have to wear insoles to make sure that I'm not wrecking my feet. And now when I'm sat at my desk, I can just roll out all of the pain in my feet. And it's just a really nice gift that I never would have thought to get for myself. But there it was on Uncommon Goods. And also they do a lot of work with artists and small independent businesses, which I really like the fact that that's, where my money is going towards.
Yeah, it's cool. They have a lot of products too that are like in small batches. They have some handcrafted stuff. So for the holiday season, the giving season, you should jump on it right now. Cross those names off your list before the holiday rush. To get 15% off your next gift, just go to uncommongoods.com/friends. That's easy, right? Uncommongoods.com/friends for 15% off Uncommon Goods. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. Big thanks to Uncommon Goods for sponsoring this video. Hey, next up, this podcast is sponsored by True Classic. Lucy, I need to know what this is. You've been rocking True Classic for a while now, right?
Yes, I certainly have. So True Classic is a clothing brand which started with one mission, and that is to bring premium, comfortable clothing to the masses. Right now, I'm wearing the sweatpants that I basically wear all the time in my house because they're really, really comfortable. Obviously, True Classics, the thing that they are most known for is the t-shirts. There were 25 million of them sold to 5 million customers. 200,000 5-star reviews, so you don't have to take my word for it. Just insanely comfortable, really well-fitting. Obviously, they are more for the male form, male body. I wear them still. Like, I wear a lot of androgynous stuff sometimes, and it's just like, I love it. They just fit really nicely.
How's the quality?
Quality is excellent. I got some for my male friends as gifts, and you can tell every time they're wearing a True Classic shirt, because I'm like, that just fits really nicely. Like, one of them's like 6'3", one of them's like 5'7". They get the shirts, they fit so well, and they feel really good. Like, they feel confident when wearing them.
Cool. I really need some. So we should
the
wrap this up.
Season,
What do you recommend? First of all, the shirts are the biggest thing.
I would genuinely, the thing about like when you are building up your wardrobe, and it is the holiday season, so if you're looking for someone in your life to give a gift to, your brother, your partner, your dad, like genuinely, basics are such an important thing to get right. You can layer with them. Not to turn this into a fashion podcast, but genuinely, if you have the most important thing about clothing is that like the fit, the form, the comfort, and I really genuinely think True Classics hits all of those. So they're so well reviewed. Genuinely wearing them right now, and also my indoor socks. Enjoy those. They're just like really comfortable, and like when my friends are wearing them, they love it. It's the holidays. Why not? Why not treat yourself? Treat some others.
I'm in. Give comfort, give confidence, give True Classic, man. You can find them at Amazon, Target, Costco, and Sam's Club, or head to trueclassic.com/friends to grab the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Again, that is trueclassic.com/friends. Check it out. And big thanks to True Classic for sponsoring this podcast. All right, and we're back, and we're going to take a user question from our live studio audience. Who's here? Okay, we have this question from Lalo Zale, who asks, I love Letterboxd Top 4, and I was wondering if you guys had that for games. What 4 would you choose? Mine would probably be some newer games because I have a gap in classics. Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, The Last of Us Part 2, and even though I don't play it anymore, Destiny 2. I love this podcast. You guys are the best. Thank you for that. Letterboxd Top 4. This is
what is Letterboxd Top 4, by the way?
So you're not on Letterboxd, are you?
No.
It's the best. Find me on Letterboxd at Jake Baldino.
Okay. Find me on Letterboxd at Lucy James Games.
Okay.
Letterboxd is where I put my pithy one-liners about the movies that I've watched. But it also like
sure.
it
it's like a journal.
It's a journal of what you've watched and when you've watched movies, and
it also reinforces how much I hate review scores and how I agonize. Oh, I'm like, what do I give this movie? Do I give it 3 out of 5 stars? Do I give it 3.5 stars? And like Amanda always jokes, she's like, wow, big decision for you. I'm like, you don't understand. I've worked my whole career bucking this trend and never having to think about it ever.
So the thing that I'm really bad at when it comes to movies is that, because I'm so all in on games, I feel like I miss a lot of movies. So every time I check in on Letterboxd and I see a bunch of my friends have been watching Predator Badlands, I kind of, make sure to put that on my watch list.
That's good. That's a good idea.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's keeping a list of things.
I saw a tweet once that was like, we need a pride flag for unemployed people. And then
It's the letterbox
someone just
logo.
responded with the letterbox logo.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's true. Anyway, so the top 4 on your letterboxed profile is your 4 favorite
I see.
movies. So it's at the top. So mine is Princess Bride, Alien, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Eternal Sunshine.
Nice. Man, I knew I loved you. That's sick.
Good choice.
That's
Good choices. Good choices.
Where are mine? Mine are The Mummy, Empire Strikes Back, Spider-Man 2, and RoboCop.
Nice.
I flip-flop between RoboCop and Speed, but it's mostly RoboCop.
Yeah, it's got to be RoboCop. It's got to be as good as Speed is.
I like smart people
quiz.
movies too. Okay?
I dropped a pop quiz hot shot earlier in this episode, just for you, baby, just for you. Top 4. Okay,
your top 4.
Go on. What do you got?
Mass Effect 2, Okami, Red Dead 2, and The Sims 2.
Yep. Okay.
A lot of sequels in there.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
Jake?
Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Oof.
Stop playing games after the PSX.
Resident Evil 2.
I'm looking at a Persona 5 poster now, and like there's Alan Wake up there. Bloodborne. Witcher. This is
Cameo Elements of Power.
Nice, of course. That's for real, isn't it?
No, it's hard. I don't. So Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Resident Evil 2, maybe Final Fantasy.
Which one? 10?
10, I think. You seem like a 10.
Impact. You seem like a 10 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
You're a 10 to us.
I'm a 10-2 to me.
Nice. 10-2. Wow.
Read into that.
I did.
You'd like.
Don't worry, I did.
It's because I have multiple jobs.
Is that what it is?
Nice.
Okay, sure.
Not nice, but you know.
For me, it's Outer Wilds. It is Ocarina. It is Metal Gear, and it's World of Warcraft. Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. Yeah. World of Warcraft, man. That was life changing. We're never gonna have it again, sadly.
No.
So
I really like that question.
They're about to release this Ashes of Creation game into it's onto Steam or whatever. You guys heard about this one? This MMO has been developed for ages.
Is that a Jesus thing? I don't know. What? I don't know.
Ashes of Creation is it?
You hear Ashes of Creation and you go, Jesus.
Jesus class.
I grew up Catholic, man. Everything goes back to Jesus.
He's a support, right?
He sure does support me, bro.
That's right. And anyway, apparently the entire community is like, please don't release this game yet. It's not ready to go. It's going to be a disaster.
No.
Oh, no.
So anyway, that's all. In relation to the fact that we're never going to get another good MMO ever again.
Do you remember when so many studios were chasing the MMO?
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
Everybody wanted one.
BioWare, Relic with Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, obviously. Who else?
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Star Wars. Star Wars had it. Star Wars
Galaxies, man.
Yeah.
Yep,
Galaxies
absolutely.
was awesome.
It was a time. That was before. Yeah. It was the live service chase before the live service chase began. It was it. And then it sort of morphed into this.
The Warcraft killer.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, good question.
Great question.
Lovely question.
Thank you for that. Of course, you can find us on platforms for questions. Lucy, where can we? Sorry.
I don't ever want you to learn it. Contact friendspersecond.com for the email and friendspersecond.substack.com for the newsletter, which goes out a week later. It's like a nice little hey, remember?
Yep.
We did this last week.
Excellent. Next up, let's talk about what games we've been playing. We've all been very busy, a lot of games. I'll go first. I'll start off with an easy one, a short one. I played quite a bit of Where Winds Meet.
Yeah, this is not going to be a short one, by the way. I've got so many questions. So no, don't think you're getting away with that, right? Go on.
So I didn't know anything about this until you said you were playing it. So I'm going to give it a little...
So Where Winds Meet is a NetEase free-to-play console and PC game. It released last year in China. It did very well in China. It was also on mobile in China. So when you hear those things, you're either in or you're out. Me personally, I'm not into that type of thing.
Yeah.
Ralph, I know you played a lot of Hunker Star.
I didn't play that.
Dude, Nakey Jakey referred to it as Hunker Star Rail once, and I can never get that out of my head. I just
I played ZZZ. That was the one I played.
Okay, yeah. That's what. Yeah, you were big into. So essentially, it is a full kind of AAA feeling experience.
Yeah.
That gives you big cinematic cutscenes, boss battles, an open world filled with endless side quests and things to do, and RPG mechanics and things to grind. Incredible graphics sometimes, all that stuff. It just happens to be free to play. And it essentially is kitchen sink design, where it just has so much to it. There's so much shit. It wants to be PvP. It wants to be PvE. It wants to be just a single player, production value experience. It wants to give you build, like you can make your own. You can build your own like buildings. You can fly after a point. You can engage in these one-on-one like trying to be Souls-like over-the-top boss battles with like different phases, and you get teleported to like different arenas. It is like on steroids. How it is crazy how much they have injected into this game, and I find that really, really fascinating and really impressive. It's ambitious, and it seems like they've managed to actually cram all this stuff in. And it seems like people are liking it because
15,000 reviews, very positive.
Yeah, people seem to be really digging it. I've seen it take off on social too. Like I've seen a lot of clips go around of it. I think it's cool for the wuxia setting. I think it really works for that. Just a really good, fun fantasy setting. Not enough games set like that. So I see the appeal there. But for me personally, it just didn't have any like soul to it. It didn't have any like oomph to it, where it had beautiful, dense towns filled with stuff going on and all these quests and NPCs. I just couldn't really connect with any of it in terms of like, I don't want to say like emotion, but like, I don't know, like I felt like I was playing something that just threw so much at me to keep me entertained and not really want to tell a cohesive story. There is a story, and there is, from what I experienced, there are actually some cool parts, but just none of it really connected with me. And I think it's partly because I'm just not interested in that model. Like it's just not how I approach games. I don't like my judgment is clouded by the free to play thing. I can't help it.
But it's just like cosmetics, right? There's no gacha.
Yeah, there is like a gacha, but it's all like weird cosmetic stuff.
Yeah,
it's not too in your face. And again, I haven't played through the entire thing, so I haven't seen if there's like an end game grind or any other weird shit. But yeah, no, for the most part, the free to play stuff seems kind of just based around skins, and you can make your character look really freaking cool. Like I will give credit to that. Like the character creation screen at the start, it's like character builder, and then it can show all your character. Like you can flip through your character in all these like wildly different outfits and settings, and you're just like, holy shit, I can make the coolest guy ever. So there is appeal for that stuff. But I think I just have like this subconscious bias against this type of game, and I know I'm probably going to get shit for that.
Not really.
Because,
I mean,
like,
I think
the world
that like
is changing.
I don't know. I think like our audience, like core gaming audience, whatever, like we didn't grow up playing these sorts of games, and like look at this like Crimson Desert game, for example, which is coming, and
it's a lot of stuff crammed in that.
It's a lot of stuff crammed into that game, and like I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you that. It doesn't appeal to me where I'm like, you can do this and that and that and that, because a lot of the time it just means that a lot of those mechanics are quite surface level. You know, I mean, I think about like MMOs, like coming back to World of Warcraft. It's like it's added so many features over the years. Things that really make it what it is. It's just like the core gameplay, and things that sit around that are less important. And these sorts of games feel like they're built on the stuff around it, if that makes sense. Like they don't really have like that central pillar that really kind of hangs them together. So I don't know. Yeah, not really appeal. They're not trying to appeal to us, these sorts of games, I would say. I look at this and I have no interest in it.
It's not for me, but like the best part is that it's like it's free. So like when I talk about it, I'm like, all right, well, try it. Like it's your time, which is, I think, incredibly valuable. But I have been surprised how many people, like my audience in particular too, like who just have been like, nah, fuck you, this is awesome.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, fair enough. I don't know if it's people who also just are happy to have something free that is of a kind of AAA production quality level. I think some people are just happy to have that, and more power to you. The game is a hell of an opening. It opens like a fucking Ghost of Tsushima style battle. Right. You're on horseback shooting dudes with a bow and arrow as like bombs are dropping and stuff, and it's incredibly cinematic. It cuts to real-time cutscenes. Like I think a lot of people aren't used to getting something like that for free. So that can be initially exciting. I just think after you play it for a while, some of that wears off.
You kind of see
but then they let you fly. Then you can kind of fly teleport, and that's actually pretty sick.
They fly now.
They
fly now.
We don't say that anymore. That's
no. I was just googling that because I remembered reading something, but it was like Tim Kaine, Fallout co-creator, this week was like, games are trying to appeal to everyone, and they're losing their way, but they should kind of refine it. And so this kind of especially sounds like a case of.
I think games are trying to appeal to everyone. I think some
like a lot
games
of AAA is trying to appeal to everyone. In that case, they're appealing to
I mean,
I like that is my main criticism with Assassin's Creed now, that it's trying to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
He's got a good YouTube channel though. We should get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to talk about video games.
Open invite.
Yeah. So where winds meet, I think it is interesting. I'm curious to see like where it goes. I do like, as soon as I did play it and put some time into it, I was like, people are going to be happy with this. Even if for me, I played it, I was engaged, but I didn't really feel anything. And I know that sounds kind of hacky to say, like it's a little corny, but
no, I think it makes perfect sense.
I can't deny how I felt.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, and actually you as well, Jake, we played Metroid.
Ooh, how was that?
Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen either of your previews yet. I did see a smattering of people worried about some annoying sidekick.
Okay, yeah, look, he's annoying.
Should we get that out of the way first?
We should. Because I really think that like there's a lot. Like I watched some of a video, Arlo the puppet guy.
Oh, his video was incredible.
It was funny.
Very dramatic.
It was very
really
dramatic.
Funny.
It was funny. I thought it was funny, but I was also like, well, I think it's a little too early to sort of really go all in on this commentary yet. So just as way of background. So Metroid Prime 4, it's the first new Metroid Prime game in 18 years or whatever. And the series, was very much about its vibes and about its sense of immersion. And it was like Samus alone on these alien worlds, figuring out things on her own. It was a very vibes led game. Okay.
Lonely space exploration.
Correct. And then
whole thing, ever since the original Metroid, that was like the feeling.
Yeah.
That was the vibe.
And so it played through the preview. We played through the opening chapter where you eventually stumble upon this NPC, and he's all like, whoa, Samus Aran, whoa, and like falling
basically
down.
He's a Rick Moranis, who you may know from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
That was a direct to or Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. Yeah, the straight to VHS
show. VHS, of course.
So it's he's that type of guy. Like he's like, he's got like slightly exaggerated features, big glasses, like big thick glasses, and he's a bumbling little guy who works for the Trade Federation, the Galactic Federation. And
so like, but he also like barks stuff at you, like, you should check your map. Oh, there's enemies over there. And so one comment I saw was like, they finally turned yellow paint into a character.
He's also got yellow on his armor. Yeah,
exactly. So look, but the thing is, and I think the internet at the beginning was like really kind of melted down over this. I read some very dramatic takes, and like maybe these takes end up being correct, by the way, right? Maybe this actually does ruin the game and whatever. But at the same time, we've only met this guy. We spent like 15 minutes with him total. It's just not possible, I think, at this point to really say, oh, this has ruined Metroid,
How long did you play for?
That block was about 90 minutes, that thing, right? So, and you only meet him towards the end of it, and then you kind of just go somewhere with him and he tails along a little bit, and
you escort him a little bit.
Escort him a little bit.
Fight on his own, but you have to worry about his health bar.
You do.
And then after a while, he kind of gets deposited at a point, and then he's chirping in your
Yeah, that's it. He really reminded me of Otacon and Snake when I played it, because he is very much like, whoa, Snake, you're amazing, and
I'm gonna piss myself.
Samus is just standing there, just staring at him, being like,
which I love the difference between like Snake will be like, let me tell you about memories, whereas Samus just stares at him. It's like this weird little guy talking to this giant, powerful, tall woman who's just staring at him. And it's kind of awkward, but kind of good. But look, I think it could go two ways, because this could be just like a little blip to kind of help people get their feet wet in the game, because they might be looking at this like, hey, a lot of people on Nintendo Switch who haven't encountered a Metroid game. Fine, whatever. He could die. He could go away, or
he could get.
They could have decided to have made this guy like the emotional through line for the entire game.
Yes,
it could go either way. Really, but
I agree, and I think separate to that though, when we're talking about like the actual game, what really struck me, and I think you said something similar in your video, Jake, was that like pretty crazy how familiar this feels, like this, as in they really haven't updated anything so far that I can see, versus the original, which came out 23 years ago. I actually cut back and forth between like Metroid Prime Run remastered footage and Metroid Prime 4 footage, and I actually thought to myself, should I label these clips? Because if I don't label them, maybe people won't notice that this is a different game, because it's so similar, and just in terms of mechanics and exploration, level design, it's all the same. So there's something comforting about that, and I like it because I love Metroid. It's fantastic. But I wonder how much that really holds up for people in the modern era. People who haven't played these games before, are they going to come to this and think, this is a bit simple? Because it's a simple gameplay model in the modern era, right? So I know you said something similar, Jake, but how did you feel about all that?
Yeah, I like the psychic stuff, like the psychic powers, and not only how it was just like, oh, you can move stuff with your hand through telekinesis, but also how they would add layers onto all of your typical Metroid abilities. I'd like to see how much further that goes. Yeah. But other than that, it was a very straightforward Metroid style experience. And I don't know. It's good. That's what I want. But I have spoken to other people now who've like watched my video or watched other videos that say like, Jake, I've waited forever for a new Metroid Prime game, and like, why isn't it doing anything different? And
I think it's a fair question. Know. Yeah.
I think it's just like, maybe we haven't seen it yet, because I loved Dread, and Dread was a Metroid game. Structurally, everything. What it added was some of that element of fear and the robots pursuing you, right? So, but other than that, it was still structurally a Metroid game. It felt lonely. It was cool. The exploration was tight. The level design was perfect. So like, I'm good with that. So I'm curious to see what with it, because there's also stuff that we haven't seen with this game that I do think is going to be one of the larger sticking points. The whole kind of motorcycle that you're going to kind of ride around, maybe like a hub area, and like how things connect. That's the stuff I want to see. How much of that is going to change up the feel, I don't know, but I'm okay. Like, I'm okay with this, because Metroid Prime 3 started to go into crazy territory. It's been so long since I've played it, but Metroid Prime 3 went into crazy territory, and I remember there were like cutscenes and NPCs and dudes with faces like talking. So I don't need it to go that far in that direction. Like, I don't need it to change things up too much. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Did you try mouse controls?
I did, actually. Yeah.
How was that?
They're good.
They're good, but you don't need them. That's the thing, because Metroid has an auto lock on, or like a lock on that you just hit the trigger and it automatically snaps to a target, and the game aims for you. So you just don't need it. It's comfortable. If you have a setup where it works, then it works. But if you don't, then it's also fine. I wouldn't say to someone, "Oh, you absolutely need to set up for the mouse controls," because it adds so much to the experience. It simply doesn't. But it's just very
really like headshotting people. Like,
no,
like,
she's not. No.
Like wrist flick.
No, there's nothing like that. It would be kind of interesting if they added those sorts of things, but it's not definitely not a part of this experience. So yeah.
No.
Okay, so that was Metroid. Luce, you have been in the Discord talking about something endlessly. You've even convinced me to boot it up. I only played the opening,
weird
but
game.
you are all about this one. Tell us about the Seance at Blake Manor.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Yeah.
With this
Here we
game. So you play as Mr. Ward, and you are summoned to this mysterious manor in the middle of nowhere where they are going to perform a seance because the veil is at its thinnest and they're hoping to commune with the dead. However, the inciting incident for you being invited there is a woman named Evelyn Dean has gone missing. You have to talk to everyone and deduce what happened to her, how all of these people are connected, if they are at all. Some of them have like previous relationships or whatever. Some of them are new to the situation, why they are here to participate in this seance. And it is fantastic. It is especially the way that it weaves in Irish history, not obviously all of the good stuff too. It really touches on a lot of things that happen throughout Irish history. It touches on Irish culture, and it weaves that through in a really cool way that is like, coming from England, don't know that much about Ireland, right? It's like I felt like I learned more about Ireland through playing this game, and the fact that it has a very clever library mechanic where you can go and look up stuff that you hear about than I have in a lot of years. And that is like ignorance on my part, but it's a really cool way to introduce a lot of things that have happened in Ireland across its history. It is the other cool thing about it is that every action takes 1 minute of time. You only have a limited amount of time to solve the case.
Oh, there's the hook.
Oh, yeah.
I learned that the hard way when I played through the intro because I just started touching everything and I'm like, oh, well, I'm in the intro, so surely they'll just give me heaps of time. So I picked up an ashtray, picked up a pot plant. Everything is taking a minute. And then I just completely ran out of time. And then I'm like, oh, so I guess I can't pick up the pot plants then. I'll just leave those sitting there, you know?
So there are fail states too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's one very early one that's basically like the tutorial one where the hotel manager's there.
That's so funny. I laugh so far.
And then he goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
That's right.
And then he'll kick you out.
No, but what I did was...
Are you trying to go back again?
No, I went in through the window while he was in the office. And then he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know who you are or why you climbed in through the goddamn window, but I don't want you in this hotel anymore. And he actually kicks you out of the hotel completely and it's game over. So,
but you can, there's like not a time rewind, but you can go back to an earlier point on the timeline to continue playing. It is such a sophisticated puzzle in terms of how everything intersects with each other, the different ways of uncovering leads, what counts as a lead if you solidify a connection between things, because you can ask guests about certain things. And so, for example, if you go into everyone's room, and I'm nosy, so you know I went through everyone's room, and something will pop up, like you find a book, and then it tells you who you can discuss it with. So you can basically carve those connections and really solidify when you think you have a hypothesis, and then you kind of do the like the making a hypothesis, and you pull from verbs, people, pieces of information that you found, pieces of evidence that you found. And there are also other things like little puzzles. So there's sometimes you'll find a ripped up letter and you put it back together, and drawing what do you call them? Like the drawing the sigils. There's other stuff like that comes into play that blocks you off. Again, the word I use is sophisticated. The way that it blocks you off from certain things until you have found the correct piece of information, but it is forever guiding you in a way that is not holding your hand, is so elegant. I loved it. I played like an hour or so in the office on a Thursday. Then on the Sunday, I played 6 hours. Then I left it for a week, and then I had Veterans Day off here in the States, and all my friends did not. So I was like, this is great for me. I'm just going to sit. I played it for 7 hours nonstop.
Crazy.
Wow. So I've seen some people, I've seen some like, some people, I've seen like some developers, just some industry people say,
Danny O'Dwyer called it his game of the year.
Yeah, I've seen some people say it's like on their game of the year list at the very least. So is it is it like a story that's knocking you on your socks, or is it a tightly designed puzzle game that's doing it?
Story because it's a mix of folklore, history, just genuinely engaging relationship stuff between a bunch of people. Every mystery that you are uncovering, I think, is genuinely super interesting, and the way that those threads weave together is very, very, again, satisfying is the word I'm going to keep using. There was one point where I completed a puzzle and so many threads and stuff was unlocked. I was sat in my house by myself just going, yes. And it was like I'm not going to show it because I have it here, but I had a pen and paper and these are the leads I have to chase down. And there's also the drama of getting it done before the seance is going to happen. And then there's the other thing that we didn't mention, Ralph. I'm not sure if you've really gotten to it yet, but it's the fact that you have to figure out everyone's schedule and everyone moves around all the time. And sometimes you can find people in places where they shouldn't be, or you can overhear pieces of information because people just happen to meet at a certain place. And then, so there's also this management part of it of, hey, all these people are gathered for a seance and they're doing talks, or they have a dinner, or there's a ball, and you have to decide if it is worth your time going to those or trying to wrap up all the other loose ends before a different event happens. So the fact that there's a time pressure, and time goes forward every time you interact with something, or every time you talk to someone or discuss a certain piece of evidence, it just comes together. It's beautiful. I loved it. I could not enjoy it more. I had a great time.
All right.
It's fun. The studio is called Spooky Doorway. This is their third game, but their second franchise. They had something called the Dark Side Detective.
Yes. And then I'm going to go back to, because I actually found an Easter egg to.
Right. Well, they're both sitting at 95% very positive, overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Yeah.
For those two previous games.
Yeah.
And then they come along with this one, and that one is currently sitting at 97% overwhelmingly positive on Steam. So clearly these people are very, very good at what they do. And, they've been doing it for a while now. And, this one's obviously just breaking through in a way that the other ones didn't quite. The most recent game they put out has, 1,400 reviews on Steam, released in 2021. Dark Side Detective has 3,000 reviews released back in 2017. So yeah, I mean, that's cool, man. Good on them. We should get them on the podcast, Luce. You love it so much. We should chat with them. If they're watching, can you hit us up, please? We'd love to reach out. We'd love to. It's published by Raw Fury.
Raw Fury. One of them followed me. Nice. I think the art director followed me on Blue Sky. Cool.
Let's get them on the thing. It'd be nice to chat with them after such a great success. I do plan to play it ASAP because, as I said, I have booted it up. I have played the intro through. I really loved it. I just love the writing and the setup for it. I mean, it really made me look. I have very strong thoughts about writing in most games, and I just think the bar is like extraordinarily low. But this one, you could just kind of feel immediately like, oh, okay, these people know how to write. Like this, it just, they get a hook. Yeah. They know how to write characters. They know how to write dialogue. It just immediately sort of like pops off the page. So yeah.
Something that I think they really should be praised for in the writing is the way that they give away so much information without being superfluous and over the top with everything. And I think that is such an important skill, especially in a detective game, especially when you are really asking a lot of the player. And in this game, you are constantly being not bombarded in a bad way, but like there's always things to be thinking about.
Yeah.
And the fact that they get that stuff across so well without like wasting anyone's time is chef's kiss.
I would love to watch you interview them. So let's say Raw Fury, if you're watching, please release the email. No, I mean send us an email, and then we'd love to chat with them.
Nice.
Segueing, I played some Kirby.
Yeah, I saw your video drop, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, Kirby Air Riders. Yeah, I'm not a Kirby guy, but I was like very interested in it because
You're like a Sakurai guy.
Yeah, I mean I enjoy Smash. I'm like a big Smash dude. But I've also watched his YouTube videos, like the sort of persona he's built over the last, his post Smash career has been really great to see. And
is that why you covered it? Like, I'm curious, like, what made you choose this as like, I'm going to play this and make a video on it?
I think it was really Sakurai. Yeah, it was, to be honest. Cool. And I think that I kind of called that out in my video where I'm like, this is a really interesting game to play if you have watched his series on YouTube about how to make video games. And watching him apply those lessons and watching and trying to spot the comparisons and the similarities between this and Smash and all of those things, So it just interested me on that level. And also, I think there was a fair amount of interest in the game in a niche sense. Like this is not for everyone, obviously, in ways that I'll talk about more in a second. But even then, I could tell people were keeping an eye on it. Nintendo were clearly pumping the ever-living shit out of it. 2 directs, one of them like 45 minutes.
An hour? 45 minutes?
Well, one of them 45 minutes, the other one an hour. So clearly they had a lot of faith in this product. And, having played through it, it's not for me. That's the truth. It's just not.
Is it because there's a second button?
It absolutely ruined it. It's just too much to deal with. No, it's very complicated to unpack why. Primarily, I would say it's because it's a party game more than a racing game. And yeah, absolutely, 100%. If it's closer to Mario Party and WarioWare than it is to Mario Kart, 100%, right? And so because I wasn't playing local co-op with friends on a couch, that immediately is going to make it less appealing. But like the fact is that I just don't have those people in my life that want to play these sorts of games, right? The people I play games with don't play Nintendo games, generally speaking. So yeah, that didn't work. But also some of the gameplay stuff, the game really does play itself in many regards. Like it will automatically accelerate for you. There's invisible walls everywhere to stop you falling off the tracks. You kind of just feel like you're being shuttled through these levels, bouncing around rather than truly controlling your character. And that's not to say that there's no skill cap in the game, because there is absolutely. There are advanced techniques that you can use. And I'm sure with practice, those nuances become more and more pronounced. Certainly as someone who's playing through it myself for, a dozen or so hours, it just never felt really great. That's the truth. Mario Kart, you pick it up and immediately the first time you drift, you're like, this feels fucking great. Kirby never felt that way for me at any point, really. Even when I nailed a turn with a really great boost turn, I just didn't feel it. And also there's some game mode stuff, which I don't think it's not to my taste either. You're talking about some game modes where some of the modes or the things, like you'll go through a set of menus or whatever, and then you go through a game mode that lasts for like 16 seconds, and then you're back to menus. And I'm like, could we have done a few more of those before going back to menu, please? Or I think that's a general complaint with the game, that a lot of the tracks feel really short. The mini games have a very short duration. It's a lot of time spent in between play rather than actual play. So, yeah, like I appreciate it for what it is. It's a well-made game. There's no doubt about it. It's really pretty to look at. It would likely be really fun if I was sitting on a couch with 3 other people and we were just going crazy playing this like city tour. They have this city trial mode, which is basically like a brawler mode where you kick the shit out of each other for a few minutes to collect stats for your character, and then after that you sort of compete in a mini game decider. And if you've collected lots of stats that make you go really fast, then you've got a really good chance if the mini game ends up being a race. But if you've collected lots of stats that are about offensive or defensive play, then you're going to do really well if that last mini game is a brawl, So that's cool. That would be really fun if I was playing with people. That's actually the most popular game mode within the Kirby Air Ride, and I'm going to guess Kirby Air Riders when it comes out, or it's out today. But yeah, man, not for me. I would say to anyone who's looking at this thinking that it's Mario Kart, don't think that. I would say that it's important to be able to try this one before you buy it. If you can somehow get your hands on it without paying for it first, I would do that. And then decide if this is actually for you. Try and watch a lot of gameplay, because I guarantee you, unless you've really looked at what this product is, it's going to surprise you in a big way. If you are paying attention to this, it's either because you're a Sakurai fan, in which case you know exactly what this is, or it's because you're into Mario Kart, in which case you probably don't realize exactly what this is. And I would definitely recommend figuring that out before you pay $70 for it, right? It's like a full price game, I think.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's not an 80.
Not an 80. No, it's no Mario Kart World, but it's a full price game. And that sort of sticker shock, I think, that would be a big sticker shock if you pick this up and you're like, what? I wanted to play Mario Kart with Kirby, but then you end up playing Mario Party with kart racing. Yeah. Anyway, that's that.
What else do you got? You've been playing a lot.
I've already been talking a lot. I will just say briefly that I'm playing Arc Raiders finally because I just had so much backlog to get through, and I'm absolutely smashing the ever living shit out of it. I think I put like 15 hours into it in 2 days. I think it's pretty fantastic. The only thing I will say about it right now as I'm kind of formulating thoughts is that like it feels like a single player game that just so happens to be a multiplayer game. And like trying to unpack how they've achieved that is really fascinating. I play solo all the time. I play all the time solo. And I really and the interactions that I have with people are great, but I think they happen within a context of me like imagining this as a single player game where I set really clear goals for myself. Today I'm going out to loot this thing or complete this quest or collect these items, and the PvP stuff is just this kind of incidental thing on top of it. If I was playing a group play, I know there's a lot more PvP in those circumstances, so it would be different. But I really, truly love it so far. I think it's just really fantastic, and I just can't stop playing it. Basically, I'm so glad I finally got to the point where I can put time into it.
Yeah, I like that you're playing solo. I want to get more experience playing solo because I definitely, when I'm playing with people and I see someone on their own, generally the group I'm with, we always had a rule where it's like, oh, okay, there's just one guy on his own, leave him alone.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how it goes. And I get
the social dynamics are really cool because most people in the solo mode are pretty cool. Well, it's not most. I would say it's 50-50, and I'm pretty clear. I'm like, I definitely shoot people. I'm there to do a bit of both, right? Sometimes I'm like willing to just like go along and focus on my own thing, but sometimes I'm in the mood to PvP, and it's a really interesting thing in the community where people are very angry about that. They feel like they're getting ganked unfairly in this game, and it's like, well, the whole point of it actually is the whole point. Do you know what I mean? And so I think I actually feel like it feels good to me as someone who is in the mood for different things at different times. Whereas like I go in there and sometimes I'm in the mood for a fight and other times I'm not, and I can choose that calibration because a lot of the time, other people are the same way. Not everyone you meet is friendly. Not everyone you meet is up for is looking for a fight. So it's a really nice mix. It's so unpredictable. Sound design is incredible. Visually, I'm still like just stood there like sort of dumbstruck by how good the game can look at times. The AI. Maps are good. The AI, like when they're on you, the arc enemies, you're like, dude, fuck off. Just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. Because they're so oppressive and so clever with how they chase you. You almost feel like it's unfair. And very few games, I think, can do that and do that as well as that. But they really have got that really right. So yeah, fantastic game. And my review for that should be out next week. I plan to play a good sort of 40 to 50 hours of it before I do a review. So I've got a lot more to go.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Luce, what about you?
I started Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I also started Demon School, which finally came out. So that was the one that was delayed because of Hollow Knight. But they also had like a little bit more time to polish.
Right.
It's like a tactics game with some social sim elements. So kind of very much in my wheelhouse. I'm in the first hour. First initial thoughts are very stylish. I'm really into it. I really like the character art too. I'm excited to see how that goes and how it becomes more elaborate as you kind of unlock more fighters. That was a quick one. But I finished Ambrosia Sky, which was a game that I played the demo of in Steam Next Fest, I want to say over the summer? A few months ago now. To be reductive, it is Power Wash Sim in space. However...
Oh, I have seen this one. Yeah.
This one. Cool.
Yes. It is, I think for me... to be a little bit emotional, is that I moved halfway across the world. I don't get to see my family or my friends from back home very often. I'm very privileged in the fact that I can travel back and I manage to go back at least once a year. A lot of the times I'll tack it onto a work trip. And so one of the biggest things as I'm getting older and as my family is getting older is I'm very anxious about things happening to them when I am not there and I am not able to be there immediately in an emergency. Ambrosia Sky you play as a character named Dahlia, and she works for this group called the Scarabs. And basically what they are sent to do is to clean up when something has gone wrong. And she is sent back to her old colony because there has been this fungal outbreak and everyone is basically dead. And certain people from her life have given their approval to be part of the Ambrosia project, the Ambrosia program, which is trying to find eternal life for humans. So this game really hit me hard because she's returning to this scene, and yes, it's the power wash sim gameplay. Eventually you unlock different, you unlock like an electric spray, and you can unlock a fire spray, and
cool.
That's the kind of the bones of it. But really it was the story that I really connected with, because she's talking about regret for leaving. What would my life have been like if I'd stayed? And I think it was, again, I'm going to keep using the word elegant. I think it's a really beautiful and elegant exploration of what it is like to move away and what it is like to return to a life that you potentially could have had, and deal with the fallout of the people who were there for you at that time not being around anymore, and you're unable, there are so many things that you're not able to say. And so I really enjoyed it. There's also puzzle elements to it. So for example, when you get the electric spray, sometimes circuits will be out and you can draw a little line and put electricity back. I think if it wasn't so heavily grounded in that narrative that I really related to, I would maybe have bounced off from the gameplay alone. I did enjoy it, I want to say that, but at the same time I'm also playing Power Wash Sim 2, which I'm really doing power hours in for some reason. I'm really just enjoying that game. And so yeah, I think it ends on a really good cliffhanger too. The final thing I'll say is that like Adam Volker, who is he does a lot of the artwork for it. I believe he was like acting as art director on this game. I really admire when a game has a very strong artistic visual style and look. I mean, I think Keeper is another very recent example of that. And I love the fact that Ambrosia Sky is so colorful and it is so striking. And I think it sets it apart because at the same time as all of this nature blooming or this new life, I think it does a great job of still being so showing how isolating space can be. And especially when you're walking around and, everyone is dead. It's great voice performance too, just from I believe it's only the main character, Dahlia, who has voice acting, at least at this point. There's rudimentary upgrade trees and things. Again, I will say the gameplay to me was not the thing that was pulling me through. The narrative was, but I had a really nice time with it. I'm very excited for Act 2.
Cool. So wait, is it only
Nice.
Act 1?
Yes, it took me about 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it says
I like
Act
a game
1.
like that. When you described the game, I didn't expect a story like that to be in it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like when you find stories in like unlikely places that really hit you.
Yeah, it's a very good. I'm one of those people who will read every terminal, every email. I think it is really important because there's also kind of like some horror stuff in there too about where the hell is this fungus coming from? How is it affecting people? People in these colonies, they set up their life to be one way. They're providing for everyone else, and yet they're kind of forgotten. And why did some choose to leave? Why did some choose to stay? What convinced them to? And I think it's a really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
Hi, Jelly.
Cool. For me, another thing I played this week was Anno 117 Pax Romana.
That's so funny that you played this.
It's great. Why is it funny?
It's just
of the
funny.
Roman Empire?
That's just funny. Like it's just you have like Tony Hawk and Max Payne and also strategy games.
Yeah, I know.
You're just like it's such an outside your normal typical wheelhouse interest, but you have this deep abiding love of strategy games and you keep playing them all the time. It's great.
They get me hooked. I look for specifically like
the Roman Empire.
This is more city builder. Like there's a lot more city builder and planning and stuff like that than like a Civ. There is combat and like warfare and stuff like that. But I just look for these games where I'm like, did the hours melt away? Do I look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, I just played for so long.
Yeah,
that absolutely happened with this. Anno is a good series. Anno 1800 really got me. It was really, really cool. But the Roman Empire setting is obviously very, very compelling. I think for a lot of people, it's like something they've always wanted. You're building, columns and like, marble streets and aqueducts and, I actually don't know a lot about the Roman Empire. Like I actually completely I know it's like a meme, like guys think about the Roman Empire, but like I completely missed that whole wave.
By all accounts, Mary Beard has a very good book about the Roman Empire that's on my to-read list.
Good to know.
Very good historian. History Hit on YouTube as well.
Always adding to the list. It's good. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but what I really like about it, just to keep it short, it's like, you're building, you're managing economics, you're doing lines of production to make your citizens happy, to then make more money, to then grow, and blah 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 stuff you do. But what I like here is that you can actually then go to the north and settle in the north, and then you're not dealing with like Roman citizens or whatever. You're dealing with like Celt people, like tribal Celt people, and then you get to work with different building types, different economic stuff, like different production, but then also what you have to decide for these sectors of population, these different types of civilians, the different categories is, do you want to push your Roman ideals, or do you want to allow them to keep some of their Celtic, traditions, whether it's what they produce or what gods they worship? And it's really fun to lean into both angles and get different benefits and grow differently. I thought that was really cool. That really, I was like, damn, this is sick. And also, not to mention, it's a setting change where you can build for so long and, around beautiful islands, around water, and engage in so much like naval stuff and like explore in your ships and battle in your ships. And then all of a sudden you're going to the north. You could be, if you play like the campaign that kind of introduces you to all the stuff, it's like you're a Roman governor that then you're like kind of banished to the north, and it's like, go fucking build some Roman Empire up there. And it's cool. It's also gorgeous. It's one of the best looking city builders.
Really?
From visuals, lighting, detail. Like you can zoom in really, really to a granular level and see NPCs going about their day, carrying stuff, trading stuff at market bazaars, having parades for different deities that you choose to worship for different benefits. I've just really been digging it so far. It's just basically a campaign and free build. It's pretty simple, but that's like all I need for these types of things. So for me, it's been money well spent, and I'm pretty addicted to it.
Nice.
Ubisoft,
Can I recommend a podcast for you?
Sure.
You should listen to The History of Rome by Mike Duncan.
Okay.
It was like early podcast, 2007 to like 2012. I just double checked, but my man goes from the very beginning all the way. It is so
it like
good.
A long
no, every episode
Dan
is
Carlin?
every episode is like 10-15 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
But he has such an affable way that he tells history. He tells little jokes sometimes, but there's a lot of stuff in Roman history that's, it's from thousands of years ago, but he specifically says, okay, this is the point where we actually start to have written records and we can actually talk about some stuff properly. But it's a really good podcast. It is like, if you talk about the history of podcasts, this one is a seminal one. And if you have any interest in the Roman Empire, especially after playing this, you should listen.
Thank you for that. That is definitely useful. Yeah. I know like the bare minimum, like I knew what I needed to know about the Roman Empire here. And it's been a ton of fun, but I've also just built some beautiful cities that I'm very proud of, and they're just economically humming along, and that just feels good. That's what I look for in these. In terms of other games, we still got more. Ralph, what do you got?
The only one I'll just briefly mention is Lumines. Yeah, Lumines is actually incredible. I'm
seeing a lot of difficulty discourse.
Oh, dude, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, okay, I played the demo and I was like, this is tough.
It's too easy?
Oh no, it's way too hard. Like I actually agree with that in the sense that Lumines is a puzzle game. Requires you to think in squares. Okay, now you're thinking in squares, right? And if you can think in squares, it's easy. And I know I've seen people online, and it's no problem, right? My brain can't natively think that way. Okay, so I don't find I don't know, Lucy, but it's not squares, whatever it is, okay? So I suck at this game, right? But like I've played so many puzzle games over the years, and I've never found any puzzle game that I've played like as oppressive as this one feels at its normal difficulty. At normal difficulty, at easy, this is doable. At normal, I'm like, oh God, just fuck, give me a second. I'm trying to just vibe here. Do you know what I mean? And in hard mode, I'm like, absolutely forget about it. There's no way. So on the one hand, I should be fine with that because it actually doesn't matter. Like difficulty in a puzzle game doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm playing on easy. It doesn't matter. But when you say that it's normal and I can't do normal, I get annoyed because I'm like, what's wrong with me? You know?
Yeah.
And but I would just say, as someone who plays a lot of games, is perfectly fine at puzzle games, you know, I just think it just strikes me that the normal mode is a bit too much and it ramps up too much too fast sometimes. And I can't. And I think what's important with this game, by the way, is that this is a sensory experience. It's meant to be about vibes. It's meant to be about the crescendo of the music and, you know, popping off a big combo and whatever else. And I think that the difficulty tuning gets in the way of that. And I think that if they tuned it down a little bit, it would be better for sure. But also you can just play it in easy mode and don't worry about your stupid ego like I am. And it's fine. And that's kind of what I eventually had to do when I was reviewing it. I played it through on easy and I finished it and I loved it. And it really is just an extraordinary game. Like visually, it's unbelievable. The music is unbelievable. Some of the highs that you get when you really are just vibing and you're just connecting to the music and connecting to the puzzle and you are thinking in squares and you just get it. It's just crazy how good it feels. The sort of the journeys and what they represent, there's a lot to reflect on in those, I think. The amount of options that are available in terms of like, you know, PvP modes and customization and whatever, it's also robust. It's just a really beautiful, beautiful package. There's nothing else like it. Even Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect doesn't hold a candle to this in terms of visuals. And
Whoa.
yeah, it, like until you see this game in motion and you really get to its later levels and you really do, it's crazy what they've done. So I truly love it. I think it's extraordinary. I really, really recommend going out to get it if you have any passing interest in this. It's a game that I will permanently have installed on all of my devices. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
Just because I want to be able to boot it up and just like feel the feels of Lumines. It's not about the satisfaction of solving the puzzle. It's about like feeling what that game can do to you with its music and its visuals and the crescendos and all that sort of stuff. It's crazy. So honestly,
I want to
truly underrated game. I mean, that's one of my lowest reviewed videos of the year that I've put out.
Wow.
Because, and I get it, right? In the sense that like there's less interest in a weird little puzzle game, but I really wish this is the reason I put out that video is because it's just such an important game and understanding like why it exists and why the developers made it and the journey they've been on as they've made games like this is just, it's a really fascinating story. So, yeah, I mean,
I
look,
like that in your video, your whole hook line with like res and everything, because res is the only thing I've played of all of this.
Yes.
You haven't done
and
Tetris
it's so
Effect?
funny. Oh, Tetris Effect, yeah. But it's just funny to like think of things like that, like res, like you're talking about it in a video documentary style, like it's this ancient Jedi texts. But it's cool to see that it's come this far, those types of concepts.
Absolutely. It is a natural extension of that. That guy, Mizuguchi, was basically like, how do I make people feel like this with other games? And this is the next step in
Chasing
that
a
journey.
feel.
Yeah, that's it. He's chasing that high, you know? So yeah, that's it. That's all I got really. That's everything I played.
Stacked
I
week.
played a lot this last couple of weeks. It's been pretty crazy.
Well, I think might be safe to move on to our final segment, show and tell. Something that we've been engaging with, playing with, reading, whatever, experiencing that isn't video games. Lucy, would you like to go first?
Okay, I was debating whether or not to bring this up. Because Health put out a new like little EP, like a little single. You Died. It's very good.
Oh, that's
Portland,
what it's called?
I had a great time. Yeah. Oh yeah. All caps too. You Died.
Oh, I love that.
Very good. Shitpost is extraordinary. The real thing that I've really been enjoying the last couple of weeks is a reality.
Bullshit. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I'm kidding.
It's Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
my mom watches this.
What is this? I have no idea what this is. What is this?
So Joey Noelle, Tim Gettys, Gia Gettys.
Yeah.
This is on you. From Kind of Funny. Vanderpump Rules is a spin-off of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a show that I've never watched once in my life. It is a reality TV show that follows Lisa Vanderpump and her husband, Kevin? I don't know. He's only really starting to come into it in season 2. Lisa and her husband own like a bunch of restaurants. They made a lot of money in restaurants, and it follows the wait staff and the bar staff of one of her restaurants, which is called Sir, which is SUR. What do you think Sir stands for?
Oh, it's not the French word.
It stands for Sexy Unique Restaurant. Okay.
Jesus.
This show came out in 2013. So we are on the cusp of when reality TV was truly trash. Because nowadays,
wild stuff.
Nowadays, everyone is just like, they're so aware that social media exists that some people obviously are very good about holding back. These people do not give a shit. They get into fights. They all are sleeping with each other. Multiple cheating scandals. There are points where, so Joey is the one who first got us into it, and we watched a whole season in like 3 days. It was bad. We just started season 3.
Jeez.
Joey was like, okay, you guys, we'll watch 5 episodes together, do it. Because we like to do things like we'll do crafts or something. That's what we did the weekend. We're all doing crafts and watching Vanderpump and chatting. Or like we're playing games and, you know, like it's second screen, ultimate second screen TV. Joey was like, I don't live near you guys. I will come up. You cannot watch these episodes without me. And like last night, there was some episodes happening and we were texting like Tim and Joey. We have a very good group chat. And it's just one of those shows that it's just like, for us, like there's no stakes. There is nothing, you know, I don't know, highbrow about it. Although Tim at one point did say, there are plot points in this show. Like there are seeds of things that pay off so much later. He's like, there are twists in the show that George R.R. Martin couldn't have written. Like, I'm so excited.
He would say that.
Anyway, so it's just really nice to have like
friends.
We only friends, but we only watch it one day a week. It's out. So Ralph watches his like every superhero movie. We watch Stacy and Jax and Tom Sandoval and Schwartz and, you know, like, oh god, it's perfect trash. I love it. Anyway, that's my highbrow shit. It's
that.
really watchable. It's really fucking good.
You know what's popping off over here in Australia? The Golden Bachelor. You know what that is?
I know of it, but like an Australian version?
Yep. It's just older people on The Bachelor. People loving it, man. They're all over it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I remember I never watched The Bachelor over here, but I remember a lot of people really, really loved the Golden Bachelor. They thought he was very sweet. Older gentleman.
Is it like older guy with like younger women? Is it
no, age appropriate women.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's the Keanu Reeves model, not the Leonardo DiCaprio model.
Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, I mean Keanu Reeves. Excuse me. I watched Good Fortune. It is a movie. You may have seen it, like the marketing. It's like Keanu Reeves, where he's got like angel wings. Mm-hmm. This is a kind of comedy written and directed by comedian Aziz Ansari, and it's very good. It like came out of left field for me. I was like, let's just try this. I like Keanu Reeves. Fuck it. Seth Rogen's in it too. Mm-hmm. And it is a really nice, simple, heartfelt movie that does a really good job of like, having some heart, being pretty funny, but also showing how like life can suck sometimes and how life can beat you down, but in a very like realistic way, like in a way that I feel like a lot of movies haven't portrayed, but just kind of like, it just shows living in LA and like your shit sucks, but in like a realistic way and not in this like, you know, extreme, like heightened way. And from the Keanu standpoint, it's unserious Keanu. And I feel like the script has so much fun with that. Like it feels like it is designed to play around Keanu Reeves as like a golden retriever, you know, not as badass. Like more of like that lighthearted Keanu. It just works so well. He's so weird and awkward and like played for laughs. And I just had such a good time watching it. Just again, like a nice, simple, lighthearted comedy movie with like a nice message that just completely worked and took me by surprise. I definitely recommend it. Right now, it's like one of those rentals where you can rent it, but it's like full price.
Yeah, like $20.
Yeah, but I sprang for it as like a gamble, and I was like, "Damn, I'm glad I did." It's a great movie.
Did it get cinematic release?
It did, yeah.
I think
it's just small though. Yeah.
Okay. Keanu is an angel. Reminds me of that movie with Travolta. Remember that Michael movie?
Michael, yeah. Oh my god,
I love that movie, man. That was great.
Yeah, I did too.
It's a great movie. Sad ending though, very sad, but you know, a nice movie.
John Travolta, Michael.
Oh yeah, he plays like a schlub angel. Is like it's funny. Anyway,
Good Fortune, highly recommend.
So I am watching season 2 of Foundation finally.
Oh yeah.
Oh nice.
Absolute dog shit, terrible, so bad.
Oh really?
So bad. Yep. Season 1, I actually rewatched season 1 because I was so excited too. It's like dollar store Star Wars now. It sucks. I'm like it's just not good. I'm pushing through it to continue, but yeah, I'm really heartbroken to be honest with you. And I also watched that Adolescence finally. I finally got around to watching Adolescence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Netflix one, right?
That was a Netflix one from a while back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize there was only 4 episodes. 4 very intense episodes, all of them in one shot. Incredible acting performances from like the entire cast. Like crazy how good they were. No wonder they won all the awards. But yeah, that's it really.
Guys, Pluribus.
Oh, dude.
I haven't watched it yet. Don't say anything. I haven't watched it yet. I'm watching it this week. But yes.
I won't say anything other than that. Okay. Look, I don't know how the show is going to explore it, but the first episode, really the first 2 episodes, establish such an interesting concept. Just such a good concept for a show, like kind of sci-fi, kind of not, that I am just so on board.
Okay.
Because it's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing to just see how they, I don't know if it's going to keep up steam with how interesting that concept is, but I was locked in those first 2 episodes and I'm like, this is amazing.
It's the kind of sci-fi where there were just so many questions, but like in a good way. And I don't care if all of the questions are answered because the premise is so cool. I'm really enjoying it. Also, Chair Company continues to be excellent. It's the Tim Robinson conspiracy chair show. It's great.
I bought what did he say? I bought the cocaine with Scrooge money.
The thing is where we were, like friends of ours went out and they were given wristbands and they were like about to go make some mistakes with the wristbands. It's great. Great show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think with that, that wraps up another episode of Friends Per Second. We made it. That's right. It is episode 83.
It was episode 83.
It was. Now it's not. It's over. Thank you guys for being here. Be sure to follow us on social. Look up Friends Per Second. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Substack.
Yep.
We're on everything. So look us up. Thank you for watching. If you rate us on the podcast platform that you watch on, we'd appreciate that very much.
And thank you to people who leave comments on Spotify, by the way.
Yeah, Spotify comments are awesome. I actually check them all the time. Yeah. It's a good place to leave comments. Maybe I'm going to start leaving comments there. I don't know.
Hey guys,
might fuck around and comment on Spotify. I need a new place.
I don't need people seeing my Spotify playlist, okay? People don't need to know about that.
Yet it's broadcasted on your Discord. I see your Discord all day with what you're listening to. And no, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, nice. She's just rocking Joe Rogan podcast all day.
No, mostly listening to Oasis.
It's just always health and Oasis back to back.
Yeah, that's it.
I love it. Well, with that, thank you guys very much for listening. We'll see you guys in another 2 weeks. Tie your shoes and go to bed.